across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6 o'clock, I'm Barry Caffrey. The headlines: Hertfordshire woman angry over family grave works, Queen to open new parliament, and temporary arrivals hall opens at Luton Airport.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A woman from Hertfordshire says she's appalled after finding an Italian tomb built over her great-grandparents' grave. Denise Hutchins' ancestors were buried in a common grave at Hoddesdon Cemetery, and she had planted a cross a few years ago to mark the spot. Ben Nye reports.
The 63-year-old says she visits the graves frequently, and she was horrified to discover that a mausoleum was being built over the site. Broxbourne Borough Council says it's a common grave, which means it's owned by the council and the family have no exclusive right to it. They say it's normal practice to allow markers and crosses on common graves, but only until they need to be removed.
The Queen will open a new session of Parliament later this morning, outlining the Conservatives' legislative programme for the coming year. The speech will include details of a referendum on staying in or leaving the European Union, but controversial plans to replace the Human Rights Act have been delayed. The Conservative MP, Crispin Blunt, denied David Cameron was doing a U-turn.
All you've got is a sensible appreciation of the ground the government's got to cover, both in the House of Commons and in the House of Lords, and there's obviously a big lobby outside around the convention, wholly understandably. It's an extremely important international instrument, and it's very sensible that the government should proceed with care.
A specialist dog is being used today to try and find an 83-year-old man with dementia who went missing from Weath Hampstead nearly a week ago. James Lomax was last seen leaving his home in Manor Road at about 10 to 5 last Thursday afternoon. Detective Superintendent Shirley Sargent says they will carry out another search today.
From that time we will review, and the search may be scaled down unless further information comes to light. But we are very much dependent on the public for information.
Passengers landing at Luton Airport today will use a new temporary arrivals hall. It's been opened to allow the redevelopment of the main terminal. The airport is investing £100 million to increase passenger capacity over the next decade, from 12 to 18 million a year. The owners of a set of misspelt advertising flags in Houghton Regis say they're aware of the issue and it is being dealt with. Pictures of the Bedford Square banner flags, which have the letter A ahead of the letter U in the word square, have gone viral on social media. In the last half hour, it's been reported that Swiss police have arrested a number of senior officials of FIFA, the governing body of world football, on suspicion of corruption. The New York Times says some could face extradition to the United States to face charges connected to the bidding process for hosting World Cup tournaments, marketing and broadcasting deals. FIFA officials have been gathering in Zurich to choose their next president. And the weather, it will be a cloudy, dry day today with some sunny spells and highs of 18 Celsius, 64 in Fahrenheit. Get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Thank you, Barry. He got Hunt's name wrong, but it could have been so much worse. It could have been so much worse. Hey, coming up on the show today, Kelly Betts is back. Kelly, great to have you back.
Thanks, man.
And what we're going to do is we are going to kill you live on air. I hope you're okay with that.
I brought a bicycle pump.
Yeah, good. We're going to inflate her and then batter her to death. Is that all right, Kelly?
Yeah, that's fine.
Nice work.
Across beds, hearts.
They never killed a rabbit. They never killed a rabbit. Here's the thing, right?
Not with a bicycle pump.
What, did they inflate it? They inserted
That's what I thought at first, but no, they just hammered it over the head.
They never killed a rabbit. That was an hilarious stunt. Steve Penk was probably the producer that day. They never killed a rabbit.
I tell you what, if they did kill the rabbit, they didn't eat that one because there's no meat on a rabbit anyway. Never mind a tiny baby one.
This is the Dutch radio presenters
Danish.
good. No, I'm glad you said that because I always get the two mixed up.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Dutch and Danes.
Words.
So they're Danish.
Yeah.
Like a pastry.
Yes.
Do the Danish pastries really come from the Danes?
I'm going to say no, Greg's.
That is nuts, isn't it? Surely you can't call them Danish anymore. Like, you can't call Kendal mint cake unless it's from Kendal mint cake.
Yeah, important.
So these Dutch radio presenters... no thanks, I'm full. God, I knew I was going to do that!
You'd be gutted if I actually had one.
Not as gutted as the rabbit wasn't.
Oh, dear.
So these Dutch radio presenters, they...
Danish.
no thanks, I'm really stuffed. They claim that they killed a rabbit live on air by battering it to death. And it's in all the papers. The whole world has gone, this is disgusting. I tell you, yeah, it is disgusting. It's disgusting that there are radio presenters still so lazy that they would pretend, because that's what they did, guys, to kill a rabbit on the air. They pretended. They would have got a pump, a cushion, and a squeaky toy.
Well, it would explain why they went into such detail. Apparently, they were saying, "Oh, it's twitching," and it was so they were painting pictures, weren't they, with their words?
With their mouths.
I'm going to kill a rabbit.
No, this is no real rabbit is being damaged at this point.
Kelly, I'm afraid, due to our lack of sound effects, you're.
Shall I do the squeak?
Oh no! Hang on a minute. I think I can make this work. Hang on one second. Hang on a second. Does this? Let me just see if this. Let me just see if this works. Hang on a second.
I know which one.
Oh, hang on. It's not working. Hang on a minute.
Can you not use my child as a sound effect? What about one of yours? Or Locker's going, ooh.
Oh yeah. Hang on a second. You missed this yesterday, Kelly.
That'd be better.
We heard Locker's sex voice. Hang on a minute. Where have I put him? Oh, I've got so many. Oh yeah. Okay. Right. So we're gonna kill her. So I've got a rabbit here. This is it. Theatre of the mind. Right. I've got a rabbit here. Cute, lovely.
He's called Alan.
It's called Alan the rabbit, and I'm gonna kill him now. He's just. You hold him there, Kath. You got him. You got him.
Oh.
Where should I hit him, Lockers? There.
Lower.
There.
Lower.
There. Yeah, you love that, didn't you, Lockers? You dirty boy. That's what they did! They didn't kill a rabbit! They did not kill a rabbit! It never happened. Now, if someone were to point me to the video footage, which no doubt they would have shot, then I'll stand to be corrected, but there ain't no video footage, because it didn't happen.
And it would explain why the animal rights activists stood by and then said, I have nothing to say now.
Yeah, there was oh, jeez. And everyone has fallen for it!
Everyone except...
this guy. Not Jackie Wilson, I mean, he's dead, but if Jackie Wilson were alive, he wouldn't have fallen for it. He'd have seen right through those Dutch people.
Danish.
No thanks, I'm full.
Your love lifted me higher than I've ever been lifted before. So keep it up, quench my desire, and I'll be at your side forevermore. You know your love keep on lifting higher, higher and higher. I said your love keep on lifting higher and higher. Listen, now once I was downhearted. Disappointment was my closest friend. But then you came and he soon departed. And you know he never showed his face again. That's why your love keep on lifting me higher, higher and higher. I said your love keep on
You were telling me that Kay Burley was going nuts yesterday about it. The blue microphone!
Oh,
for crying out loud, woman! You were telling me that Kay Burley was literally rubbing her legs with glee. Her legs with glee.
I said her hands together. I don't know what you were imagining. But a lot of people were getting very upset about it. Understandably, poor little rabbit, poor Alan.
The Guardian have fallen for it. Danish radio presenter pets rabbit before killing it live on air. Video. Oh, there's video evidence. Oh, I'm sorry, guys, I got it wrong. No, there's not. There's video of the guy taking it out the box and stroking it. There's video of the woman, the animal rights activist who's in the studio with a smile on her face saying, oh, well, it was a little bit cruel. There's no video of the rabbit having its head stoved in.
Is there?
Hey, listen, if there is, guys, then I will be the first to phone up Denmark and apologise. Just a random number in Denmark. It never, ever happened. And you haven't been sucked in because you guys are intelligent. Everybody else has been sucked in. Well, call us after 10. Do you think those radio hosts were right to kill the rabbit live on air? Give us a call now on BBC local radio somewhere else in the country.
So what's going to happen in about 2 weeks is that they go, hey guys, it was only a joke, but thanks for everyone for talking about animal welfare.
We did not really kill the rabbit. We were doing it to test whether people really do get upset about killing and to question where our food comes from.
Hey, Dutch again there.
Yeah.
Crazy guys.
Crazy guys. We were smoking a fat one and we decided to kill a rabbit on air, but we didn't. It was a trick. Roll me another fat one.
You're welcome, radio.
Oh, listen, there's a video.
They have there? They have the Gillards. They'll get one.
Oh, dear me. Anyway, from one row to another row. Kelly?
Yeah.
Thank you, mate. Great to have you back.
Thanks.
Okay.
Tell me about that row.
There's a row brewing in Broxbourne after a woman found her loved one's graves had been turned into a building site. Denise Hutchins says the first she knew of plans for a new mausoleum was when she visited the town cemetery and found the work in progress. Catherine, you are our grave mausoleum expert.
Yeah.
Must have been a shock. Give me background.
This is a plot at Broxbourne Cemetery, and it's been the resting place of Alfred and Eliza Burton since the 1920s and 1913, respectively.
OK, so that's 100 years ago.
Yeah, they've been there a while.
So they weren't that close then.
But the problem is they're not the only ones there. It's a communal grave, and so the council have the right to do whatever they like. It doesn't belong to the family, and they are doing whatever they like by the looks of things. Now, Denise Hutchins says she knows this, and she also knows that when she put a wooden cross on the Burton's grave 8 years ago, it wasn't strictly allowed, but they allowed it to go ahead. And she says that, you know, she believes the cemetery manager, because of that cross, would realise that someone cared about the grave enough to at least warrant a phone call.
So what happened?
So the cemetery holds generations of Denise's family, and she visits them throughout the year on special dates and anniversaries, as people do. Now, she was shocked last week to stop by her great-grandparents' plot to find the beginnings of this mausoleum being built on their plot, and her burial cross that she put in 8 years ago had been taken out and was leaning against another tombstone. Now, she realises it's a common grave and that legally Broxbourne Borough Council can do whatever they want with the land, but she says this is a question of morality.
The council, what have they had to say about this?
They say that, like many other councils, finding space in their cemeteries is getting increasingly difficult, but it's about trying to juggle finding space whilst handling this emotive land in a sensitive way. Not emotive land.
Emotive land?
No, I didn't write this. She handled this...
Because it would have been so much better if you had.
I wouldn't have put emotive land.
I like that phrase.
But you know what I mean?
Emotive land.
It's not just a plot, is it? It's not just a piece of ground.
The plot thickens.
I mean, to the Borough Council, it's all about space, but this is Denise's ancestors. They were talking about Denise's cross yesterday, and they said...
She's furious.
The council's normal practice is to allow markers and crosses on common graves so respect can be paid, but they will need to be removed at some point. Yeah. And they added that when crosses are removed, they're usually stored in the chapel area so that people can collect them or for general storage. Why would you want to take that home?
I mean, I just really.
But, you know, phone call, guys, maybe. Would have been nice.
A phone call would have been nice, wouldn't it? Really?
I think that's the theme of that story.
I think we've set the positioning there. Give us a call.
BBC Three Counties Radio. It's the best.
Well,
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Quiet
Right, so having a look at the speed sensors in Standon on Stortford Road, there's temporary traffic lights at the High Street, so that could get busy later on. And in Hitchin on Stevenage Road, there's drainage works going on at Whitehill Road, so that could also get busy. Looking at the speed sensors, it's not causing any delays at the moment, and no problems reported on the A1M or the M1 or the M25. On the trains, though, Chiltern Railway are reporting delays between Marylebone and Banbury because of a signalling problem. They could be affected by 2-hour delays and short notice cancellations. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Did you just cut the cheese?
I don't have any cheese.
I think you stink.
So do you.
How rude. Hey, how rude having a go at little... How old's that little girl that...
6.
Sammy, you think a bit Billy Big Boots?
Potatoes.
Yeah, bullying a 6-year-old child? How outrageous. Isn't it, though? Isn't it?
It is, though.
Isn't it?
It is.
Kelly, great to have you back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. 6:16, we're down the rabbit hole. We ain't pretending to kill no rabbits down this hole. Rabbits are free to come and go as they please. Oh, yeah, headlines. 6:16, these are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A woman... I'm just getting it out of my system because when I'm on BBC London this afternoon, I won't be able to do any of this nonsense. Straight down the line. Straight down the line. Yes, I am. Straight down the line. Midday. A woman from Hertfordshire says she's appalled after finding an Italian tomb built over her great-grandparents' grave in Hoddesdon. Permission granted.
I don't think it's literally for Italians. I think it's Italian style. We can take the Italian bit out. It's just a mausoleum.
Those damned Italians coming over it.
I may be wrong. But
no, these are victims of the famous ice cream wars of the 1970s. No, those Italians coming over here, stealing our grave space with their Italian tombs.
I don't think it is, but it might be. So
okay,
just
steady. Got no idea. We're in a very naughty mood this morning, primarily because Kelly's back. Great to have you back, Kelly.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And the Queen's doing something later. Wicked.
Three Counties Radio.
We're the BBC. I'm sorry, guys. 08459 455 555. What was the phrase that offended you? Emotive land.
Emotive land.
Right. No, and I think that's genuinely a beautiful phrase. There is much land that
means
is...
nothing.
Oh, no. Flanders Fields? That's not emotive land?
It's the emotion that you attach to it, the land in itself.
No! All right, guys, down the rabbit hole until 7 o'clock, emotive land. Dealey, take this to the streets. What land is emotive for you? 08459 455 555. I can think of plenty of emotive land.
Go on. One example. Holland or Denmark?
All right, then, do you want to do this on air? Because I'm about to pwn you. And you can't come back against this. You ready, Just?
Why are you going to turn my mic off? Go on.
No, I'm not going to turn your mic off. I'm going to pwn you, and you're going to go, oh. You're about to hear you go, oh. Okay? Ask me the question.
Emotive land.
Yeah.
What's yours?
The spot just west of Edinburgh where my dad's ashes are buried. Very emotive land.
You buried your dad's ashes?
Yeah, I know.
No, it's not. That's not uncommon. I've done that.
Yeah, that's
not his dad.
That's called is that interning them?
Yes. Interring.
Inter it, is it? Oh,
yeah,
blimey.
not interning.
I thought we got a turn each.
That's giving them a job.
I went to Edinburgh earlier in the year. I think it was this year. Maybe anyway. To get rid of my dad's ashes. Right. I thought we were going to scatter them, and I was all set to scatter them, and then we buried them, and I had to pretend I knew that's what we were going to do all along. So that's emotive land, Justin, isn't it?
Oh wow, that's getting deep.
Well, it
really
wasn't that deep. And my nan and granddad are buried there illegally.
Really?
Yeah, because you can only have a certain amount of things there, like jars with the bits in of the dead person that you loved. And like all the Rugvies are kind of, their ashes are buried there. But the council, when my nan and granddad were going to be buried, they said, oh no, you can't, you've not got permission to do it. So they're like, oh, all right, fair enough. My family are dead common, right? And they're from South London. So they buried, I think they buried my granddad's ashes there. But they weren't allowed to bury my nan's, and so the guy from the council, they watch you bury the ashes and stuff, and then they kind of cover it up. And my family, they went to leave, and then when they saw the council had gone, they went back and they dug it up again very quickly, and they put Nanny Peg's ashes in there.
I know I often say I don't want your life story, but that's actually a very good one.
In it, though.
Yeah, I like it.
In it.
Good.
So, emotive land, 08459 455 555. It happened. It happened. There is emotive... You must know emotive land, Justin.
Emotive land for me, again, it's probably going to be quite deep. It's where my grandparents are buried, at a church in Hemel Hempstead. Nice bit of land there.
Beautiful.
That land to me is special.
It's emotive.
Can I ask a question of Kelly?
Yes.
Kelly, where's your nan?
She's several places.
Hey.
One.
I took her out in envelopes.
Yeah, in money bags and cigarette boxes. And she's partly sprinkled in a chip shop in Wales.
All right, this is the phone-in. There are 2 phone-ins. In the chip shop?
Yeah, they don't know.
In like an ashtray.
They trickled her all over the shop.
Here we go, 2 phone-ins, right, Justin? You take your pick. Right, you take your pick. Emotive land.
Yep.
Or where's your nan? 08459 455 555. Where's your nan? Just remind us, Kelly, where's your nan?
Chip shop in Wales.
OK.
Mine's in Southport. She's alive.
Made myself laugh.
She also is inside me somehow because when we threw her ashes, I swallowed a load.
Oh no!
It's not a clean process, is it? Have you ever seen it? When we
blowback.
My granddad went first, and my other grandma died, right? And they wanted to be sprinkled together.
Oh.
So we had to wait. And then we had this moment where we went on the Garden of Rest, and it was like they give you that sort of shake and vac thing. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
And it takes ages, and everyone sort of.
Hurry up, Nan.
Yeah, and then we released some balloons, so effectively litter.
08459 455 555. Emotive land and where's your nan? Justin, can you get anything from those?
Of course I can.
Beautiful.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's do this thing about idiots, and then I want to play a 7-minute song.
Yes.
Right, Justin, simple question. Spell the word square to me.
SQUARE. Yeah. It's simple. Even I know that.
Sounds easy, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
But apparently, if you're a professional flag maker, I love this story, it's not that simple. And if you're someone who's got to check the flags that you've ordered, it's not that simple.
What about the guy that put it up? Surely he looked at it.
You would think so, but I bet everyone's going, oh, it's not my job, Gov. A set of banners flying proudly from the new Bedford Square development in Houghton Regis. Oh, they've been put up by numpties. Justin, tell me about these flags, please.
6 little beauties in Bedford Square in Houghton Regis. Now, we initially thought, well, obviously we thought, what plum's done this? But we started looking into it and we thought it must be the town council. But they were keen to stress to us yesterday, hey, this has got absolutely nothing to do with us. And they pointed us in the direction of the owner of the shopping area. That is Martin Slow Estate. Now, although we've only been able to leave messages, they did tell the BBC yesterday that they were aware of these 6 flags being spelt incorrectly and it's being dealt with. I mean, beyond that, we couldn't confirm much else really, including if they were the freeholders or not.
They've spelt square wrong. How have they spelt it? SQAURE. And these are massive. They're not just like little... These are massive banners, aren't they?
Huge, great big banners. You can see the picture on our Facebook and Twitter as well. 6 of them, 6 massive, great big flags selling Bedford Square, but sadly it's been spelt incorrectly.
And the thing is, right, it's okay, you could say, oh, it's a little bit of nonsense. How many of these flags? Are there 3 of them?
6.
6, right? I'm not being funny, but this is actually massive, right? This is a huge thing because if people are putting up 6 massive flags and the guy that spelt it has spelt it wrong, the guy that checked it has checked it wrong, the woman that put it up has got it, all of these people have got it. This is broken Britain. This is why kids are smoking crack and drinking booze and bunking off school. This is why there's unemployment. This is because people can't be bothered to get the basics right.
Well, apparently the flags were put up as part of a rebrand, which has clearly gone wrong. But in saying that, I mean, later, after 8 o'clock, the people of Houghton Regis take the J-Dog spell check. And you would be shocked at how many people cannot spell the word square. So we can sit here and we can moan about it, but in actual fact, will it make a great deal of difference? Because a lot of people in the area can't spell the word anyway.
But hang on, surely, if you're a sign writer or you want to be a sign writer or a flag maker, your interview surely should say, OK, how's your spelling?
Yeah.
Can you spell square?
OK, in defence of the sign writer, and we've got about 40 seconds from you, Just, which we'll play in a minute. We'll do Crosby, Stills and Nash afterwards. In defence of the sign writer, right, it's that Spinal Tap thing, isn't it, where he's drawing Stonehenge and instead of writing feet, he does the sign for inches. And then a tiny Stonehenge turns up and he goes, well, what's that? That's what you asked for, 12 inches. No, I meant 12 feet.
So they just do what they're told.
They just do, the sign writer is commissioned to do what they are told. And if someone said, right, we want 6 flags, we want them looking like this, and if you can just put Bedford Square, and they write that down, they've done their job.
It's about pride in your work. I bet Scott, if someone asks him for a T-shirt, a hilarious T-shirt, he will make sure the spelling's right, even if their spelling's wrong.
No, fair play. I got him to print up to design some business cards for me, and I gave him a wrong spelling on there, and he spelt it as I told him to spell it, because that's his job.
Yeah,
that's his job.
Who are you to question? If somebody says I want 6 flags, there you go. There's $2,000 for 6 flags.
Who are you to question? You are a native English speaker. And a professional.
Well, come on though. I mean, sometimes, if somebody gives you the money and they say this is what I want, well, you're providing a service by giving that person what they want.
I wouldn't want my name on it.
No, Justin, you did take this. I've got 40 seconds here. What is this?
Well, later people take the spell check, but it's kind of a 50-50 split because when I was there yesterday, people saw a man with a BBC badge with a microphone, and they came up to me saying, "Are you talking about the flag?" Some people were outraged. Here's what they had to say.
Very embarrassing.
Madam Lovely Scooter, what do you think about these signs?
Disgusting. Somebody can't spell, perhaps they've only just gone to school.
Thank you very much. Go on, I'll let you whiz off.
That's Houghton all over for you, to be honest.
Nothing more to add?
No. It's just...
What do you think about those flags?
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I'd tell them to go back to school.
What about this for a punishment? The flags come down, and the person who's made that mistake, you wrap them in the flag, and you make them walk around Houghton Regis for 7 days.
Oh, definitely, yes.
Typical for this area. Not shocked, actually.
Well, Dave from Luton's on the line. Dave, what do you think?
Oh, I think it's disgusting.
And I agree with you, Dave. Thanks for calling. It is, it's a silly little thing, but it's these silly little things. It's important. It's an embarrassment for the area.
Of course it's embarrassing, because this was meant to be a big rebrand. Tesco, when they closed, they took down their advertising flag, so it was something new going up, something to promote Houghton Regis, and they can't even spell the word square correctly.
Dealey, listen, we'll speak a bit later on. If you can get Emotive Land or Where's Your Gran, I'll let you pick and choose. We'll speak to you before 7.
Yeah, no problem.
Cheers, my dears.
Cheers.
Disgusting.
Hell mess.
Lady Madonna, children at your feet. Wonder how you manage to make ends meet. Who finds the money when you pay the rent? Did you think that money was heaven sent? Friday night arrives without a suitcase. Sunday morning creeping like a nun. Monday's child has learned to tie his bootlace. See how they run. Lady Madonna, baby at your breast, wonders how you manage to feed the rest. See how they run. Lady Madonna, lying on the bed. Listen to the music playing in your head. Tuesday afternoon is never ending. Wednesday morning papers didn't come. Thursday night your stockings needed mending. See how they run. Lady Madonna, children at your feet. Wonder how you manage to make ends meet.
Disgusting.
Travel news for beds, cards, and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M25 clockwise, there's been an accident at junction 25 for Enfield. It's partially blocked on the exit slip road there by a van that's had an accident. In Neaston on the North Circular Road, that's busy between the M1 at the Staples Corner flyover and Wembley. And in Elstree, that's looking slow on the A5183 just after Allam Lane because of some water mains works going on there. On the trains, Chiltern Railway are reporting delays between Marylebone and Banbury because of a signalling problem. There are possible 2-hour delays on that line. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6:30 with the headlines. I'm Barry Caffrey. A woman from Hertfordshire says she's appalled after finding a tomb built over her great-grandparents' grave. Denise Hutchins' ancestors were buried in a common grave at Hoddesdon Cemetery, and she had planted a cross a few years ago to mark the spot. Broxburn Borough Council says it's a common grave, which means it's owned by the council and the family have no exclusive right to it. The new session of Parliament will officially open today with the Queen giving a speech setting out the government's plans. David Cameron appears to have delayed one of his key election promises, bringing in a British Bill of Rights to replace the Human Rights Act. Chiltern Railways are not running services through Buckinghamshire this morning because of signalling problems. All services between Banbury and London Marylebone and Aylesbury and Marylebone have been cancelled. Plans to send migrants arriving in southern Europe to other countries across the EU are to be set out. The European Commission's proposals are in response to rising numbers crossing the Mediterranean from the Middle East and North Africa. Britain plans to opt out. The owners of a set of misspelt advertising flags in Houghton Regis say they're aware of the issue and it's being dealt with. Pictures of the Bedford Square banner flags, which have the letter A ahead of the letter U in the word square, have gone viral on social media. And the weather forecast: dry and fine today with some sunny spells and highs of 18 Celsius.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Reports suggest an operation is underway at a Swiss hotel to arrest several top FIFA officials on corruption charges. It's taking place at the location of their annual meeting. It's thought the suspects are facing extradition to the United States of America. The BBC understands that the US Department of Justice and the FBI is set to hold a press conference in Brooklyn, New York this afternoon. Meanwhile, the Chief Executive of the Football Association of Ireland, John Delaney, has told the BBC they will vote against Sepp Blatter in Friday's FIFA presidential election. Delaney believes Blatter should step down for the good of the game.
We won't be voting for him. The Republic of Ireland vote will be for Prince Ali from Jordan. It's time for Blatter to step down. I think he should do it. Regardless of all the good that he, claims to illustrate he's done in his tenure, he has to recognise that FIFA has an incredibly bad brand image, and that is associated with Blatter himself.
Tennis now, and the top seed Serena Williams is through to the second round of the French Open in Paris after she beat Andrea Hlavakova 6-2, 6-3. In the men's draw, there was a shock exit for Grigor Dimitrov as he lost in the first round to the American Jack Sock 7-6, 6-2, 6-3. There were no problems for the world number one Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal, though, who both won their opening matches in straight sets. And those are the sports headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. I'm back with a full news bulletin at 7.
Getting to the point where I'm no fun anymore. I am sorry. Sometimes it hurts so badly I must cry out loud. I am lonely. I am yours. You are mine. You are what you are. You make it hard. Remember what we've said and done and felt about each other. Oh, babe, have mercy. Don't let the past remind us of you are. You make it hard. Tearing yourself away from me now. You are free, and I am crying. This does not mean I don't love you. I do. That's forever. Yes, and for always. I am yours. You are mine. You are what you are. You make it hard. Something inside is telling me that I've got your secret. Are you still listening? Here is the lock and laughter, the key to your heart. And I love you. I am yours. You are mine. You are what you are. You make it hard, and you make it hard, and you make it hard, and you make it hard. Friday evening, Sunday in the afternoon. What have you got to lose? Tuesday morning, please be gone. I'm tired of you. What have you got to lose? Can I tell it like it is? Listen to me, baby. It's my heart that's a something, it's a lie, and that's what I have to do. I've got an answer. I'm going to fly away. What have I got to lose? Will you come see me Thursdays and Saturdays? Hey, hey, hey. What have you got to lose?
That's old news. What sort of videos have you got?
Let's go down the rabbit hole. Here I go.
Chestnut brown canary, ruby-throated sparrow, sing the song, don't be long, thrill me to the marrow.
Lower, lower, lower.
Coleslaw, potato salad.
Voices of the angel ring around the moonlight, asking me, say she's so free, how can you catch the sparrow?
That's old news. What sort of videos have you got?
Lacy lilting lyric, losing love lamenting, change my life, make it right. Be my lady.
They actually drove across the green when the kids were coming back from school and nearly knocked women over with toddlers, and it got that bad. My husband went after them on his own motorbike and pulled them off.
That's old news.
Here we go. Nearly there. Lower. Ooh, fish fingers. Oh, you missed all that, Kelly. You take time off, you miss all that.
I don't even want to know what it is.
You don't. Imagine it.
No.
Imagine something worse.
No.
Imagine something even worse than that. That's what they were doing. Great to have you back.
It's crazy.
What did you say?
It's crazy.
What did you say before that?
Oh, gosh.
Play it back. Play it back. Wowzers.
Yeah, it didn't sound like
Didn't
gosh,
sound like it, did it?
No.
Didn't sound like it. Play it back, Kelly. Unbelievable. Not so good to have you back. Potty mouth. What have you got in the papers?
It's quite a popular brand in India. Sorry.
Oh, this is good. Yeah, go on.
Hitler ice cream.
Hey!
Page 32 of the Daily Mail. Beautiful. I don't know why they've stashed it away here. There needs to be more pictures of this. Unlikely to go down terribly well with any German or Jewish visitors to the country. Lack of knowledge about the Holocaust means it's not the first time the Nazi leader's name or image, I mean, they even use his face, has been used as a brand in India. However, the appearance of the ice cream cones has triggered an internet campaign in Germany to try to get the tasteless and macabre brand withdrawn. Actually, it's got his picture on it. Have you seen?
Yeah, it's Hitler ice cream. Get over yourself, Germany. It's in India. They don't give a stuff about what you think.
They don't respect your sensibilities.
They don't care. Anonymous, no, Shafia says on the text 81333, start your text 3CR. The signwriter and checker are both Polish. Do you know that for sure, Shafia? I've had the experience of asking... Here we go, look.
Here we go.
I've had the experience of asking in writing for the middle feature page of my charity event programme to read Making a Difference. I got all 500 programmes on the day before the event with Making a Difference. I had no choice but to hand them out as was is.
Why did you want Mekong?
A text 5 minutes later. Sorry, should have been written Making and not Mekong. So they got it wrong in the text.
Oh, it's your fault.
That's how easy it is to be an idiot. Did you hear it back, Kelly?
Yep.
Yep. Do you want to apologise to the boys and girls?
I did not say what you think I said.
But you thought you said it?
No, I didn't.
So you must have.
If
you thought you said it, you must have.
What?
It sounded like you said it.
You're going to apologise to the boys and girls?
I apologise to the...
Thank you very much.
She only said gosh.
Play it back.
This time she only said gosh.
Play back. Anything else in the papers?
Yeah, there's some various other things, which I'll tell you about.
Where's your nan? 08459 455 555. An emotive land. Emotive land. My old school's emotive land. My old school would make me cry. My Monksfield Way in Slough, where I lived until the age of 11,
the land is not
emotive.
intrinsically emotive.
Do you know what you are?
A pedant. And
Can you hear that? Can you hear that? Do it faster. No, you can hear that. That's what she is.
You've done that before.
Yeah. No, practice. Plenty of practice. About 35 years of practice. Must be tired.
Never.
Sun page 35, right? Here's a woman living in denial.
Go on.
The Sun page...
I ain't got it. I don't got it.
You've nicked all the papers.
No, I haven't. I've only got the Mail and the Express at this point.
The Sun page 35. A woman living in denial.
How?
That's if she fits. Nigerian lover proposed after 6 months, then said he only wed me for visa. Well, Dina.
I
know that Nigerians like big butts and they cannot lie, but even they would have trouble with that.
She might be charming.
When Dina Charles walked down the aisle, she could not wait to spend the rest of her life with the man she loved. But just half an hour after the pair exchanged their vows...
Oh.
she discovered her Nigerian groom had been texting another woman. I'm texting another woman. Dina, I do not love you, Dina. I love another woman. I'm here for my visa, Dina. I'm here for my dinner, Dina.
Can you stop doing the voice?
Is that bad?
Yeah.
And Dina was left further humiliated when hubby, Ben Moore, admitted he'd only married her for a visa.
Ben Moore? I know Ben Moore.
Ben Moore.
Oh, different fella.
Dina, 23, says, my whole world came crashing down. Can I do her voice?
Yeah, you can do it.
Racist. My whole world came crashing down when I found out my marriage was a fake. I love Ben with all my heart, and there's plenty of it. There'd have to be. We'd made loads of plans for the future, and he seemed desperate to start a family. I want to start a family with you, Dina.
Stop it.
She was instantly attracted to his looks when they met online, and was hooked after he struck up a flirty conversation. The thing is, right, a lot of these women that marry Nigerians, a lot of these people that are exploited for visas, right, they are permission to speak freely without any accents.
Okay.
They're deeply unattractive.
Ooh.
And they've never experienced people showing them love and affection. So someone shows them love and affection, they get sucked in. Your first love, you thought, that's it, I'm going to be with this person forever.
No, I didn't. I hated his guts to start with.
Well, your heart is colder than that of Olaf's, but the first love, generally, we think this is it, this is going to be it forever. And this is their first love. This is their first... And someone showing them a kindness and affection and... You know, and they think, oh, this is it, and it's not.
They're vulnerable. Anyone who is willing to throw their life up in the air for the sake of someone that they've known for 6 months, they are desperate for some sort of change, aren't they?
I couldn't imagine being so...
and that, Kelly, yes.
We started chatting and he explained he'd come to the UK from Nigeria to study for a business degree. She met him in London for a day of sightseeing. Ben took me to see Big Ben.
Did he know? On the first date?
Cheeky!
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting with the trains, there are some major delays. Chiltern Railway have a 2-hour delay on services between Marylebone and Banbury. All the trains are cancelled at least until 8 o'clock this morning. On the M25 clockwise, the entry slip road at junction 25 for Enfield is partially blocked by an accident involving a van. Also slow on the M25 anti-clockwise between junction 21 for the M1 and 19 for Watford. And in Bournemouth on the A1, there are queues southbound between the Holiday Inn and Barnet Lane at Stirling Corner. It's also busy on the A1 Watford Way southbound at Mill Hill from the Apex Corner towards Mill Hill Circus. Samantha Breath, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, thank you. We're getting some great tweets on Where's Your Nan. Some of you not quite got it. Well, 08459 455 555. Where's your nan? Big Ben, I mean, really, that's...
The first date as well.
That's outrageous. That's outrageous.
Will she ever learn?
Well, did the bell chime? That's the question.
Bong.
Doesn't mention that. 6:48. It's Wednesday, the 27th of May. I'm in Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Great to have you back, Kelly.
Thanks.
You're welcome. A woman, maybe you should consider having some time off.
I'm always considering having time off.
A woman from Hertfordshire says she's appalled after finding a mausoleum built over her great-grandparents' grave. The council says as it's common grave, she's got no right to it. And a number of senior officials from football's world governing body FIFA are reported to have been arrested on suspicion of corruption. FIFA corrupt! I'll not have a word of it!
Beds, hearts and bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hello there, very good morning to you. It's Sarah Thornton here with your weather, and it's a chilly start this morning. We've seen temperatures well down into single figures as we're expecting through the night, as low as 4 degrees, but lots of sunshine out there right now. Looking at a dry day with sunshine for the first half of the day, although we'll see an increasing cloud through this afternoon, and that cloud is a weak weather front moving towards us. It might just give us a little bit of light and patchy rain through this evening. Before that, top temperature of 18 Celsius, 64 in Fahrenheit. That light and patchy rain rain clearing away certainly by breakfast tomorrow morning. It'll be fairly breezy in its wake though, but a bright start tomorrow. Lots of sunshine in the afternoon. A little bit cooler than today, but bright and breezy at 16, perhaps 15 degrees in some spots. Friday morning we start with quite a lot of heavy rain around. Some hail and thunder mixed in with the showers that will follow on later in the day. And then Saturday, the driest day of the weekend, looks pretty nice actually, if rather cool for the time of year at 14 degrees and still fairly windy. But Sunday we'll see some rain.
Thank you, Sarah. So we're asking, Emotive Land, where's your nan? And have you ever been taken to see Big Ben on a first date?
If there's anything that you want, if there's anything I can do, just call on me and I'll send it along with love from me to you. I got everything that you want, like a heart that's oh so true. Just call on me and I'll send it along with love from me to you. I got arms that long to hold you and keep you by my side. I got lips that long to kiss you and keep you satisfied. If there's anything that you want, if there's anything I can do, just call on me and I'll send it along with love from me to you. From me to you, just call on me and I'll send it along with love from me to you. I got arms that long to hold you and keep you by my side. I got lips that long to kiss you and keep you satisfied. If there's anything that you want, if there's anything I can do, just call on me and I'll send it along with love from me to you, to you, to you.
Good to see you.
To
Dum-dum-dum. Are you talking to, Dealy
I'm
Dealer?
just talking to a lady on the streets. In actual fact, madam, give us your name again.
Lynn.
Lynn, we gave you those flowers a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? Because you deserve them. Tell us how that improved your life for that week.
Well, it cheered everyone up in the office.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's really nice. Nice to see them on the desk.
You're still smiling now, aren't you?
Always smiling.
Have a good day. Take care.
Oh, isn't that
there
nice?
you go. There you go, boss.
Justin's a romantic soul. Can I ask him the question?
Yeah, sure.
Would you show a girl Big Ben on the first date?
Would I? No, I probably wouldn't, actually.
You'd save that?
Yeah, I would save that probably for a...
What about the London Eye?
The London Eye? No, again, I wouldn't do. I think it's too big for the first date. I think you need to start small and then get big.
So where would you start?
I'll probably... Do you know what? First dates for me...
Yeah.
I'm going to give love advice right now.
Okay,
And as you know, I'm never wrong. I'm never wrong.
Well...
If you're going on a first date, this is the best thing to do, guys.
Yes.
Go to the cinema. And I'll tell you why, because you can be around each other.
It's the worst.
You don't have to talk.
Hang on. You can feel the vibe, you can feel the aura, and you don't have to have those uncomfortable moments. And then date number 2, that's when you go to a restaurant. That's when you might go and see something
We've
big.
got another love expert. Hang on one second.
I think that is a ridiculous idea.
Yeah, I think it's a ridiculous
That's
idea.
a great idea.
It's a ridiculous idea. Do the popcorn trick, like you didn't do the popcorn trick when we went to McCartney. You did the hot dog trick.
Yeah. What about foot long?
A foot long? Oh,
The cinema, yeah.
I think it's I think it's a little bit
forward, isn't it?
I think it is. I think it's kind of suggesting something if you have a foot long.
Good, I'm glad we cleared that off.
There's nothing like a good dong on a first date.
What, the Big Ben one?
Big Ben, yeah. There's nothing like it. There's
boring,
nothing like it. We're asking, where's your nan? Kelly, where's your nan?
Part of her is in my lungs.
Beautiful.
Backfired.
Yeah.
And some is in
Nan backfired.
a chip shop in Wales.
We've been asking this. Where's your nan? But some of you haven't got this. Bob says dead. Yeah, but where? Marion says 2 in the cemetery, 1 with Grandad, 2 double plot. Oh, cheeky. Canvey Island, says Brad. David says pushing up daisies, but she had a great time getting there. And then David's posted a picture of his delightful nan. She looks terrified in that picture.
She doesn't look like she's having a good time at that particular moment.
It looks like, if you had a mask on, it looked like she'd be next to Jihadi John. She looks absolutely petrified in that picture, David. Honestly. Justin, what have you taken to the streets for us?
Well, you wanted Emotive Land, and also Where's Your Nan? Where's Your Nan? That was a tough call first thing in the morning, that one was. But I've done both for you. Here's what the streets had to say. Where's your Emotive Land, madam?
Batford Springs.
Batford Springs. Why Batford Springs? Why is that Emotive Land for you?
It's beautiful, it's down, there's water, there's the river there, there's green meadows, it's lovely.
And the other question they're asking this morning is, where is your nan?
My nan? Watford, down at Watford Crematorium.
Where is your nan?
The ashes ended up in the sea.
Where's your nan?
In the cemetery up Stopsley. In the cemetery. Our ashes were scattered up there.
My nan's in Milton Keynes, I think, somewhere.
Is she?
I think she's in Milton Keynes, yes.
The new city?
No, listen, it's Luton Airport and it's Milton Keynes, the town.
Reminder.
Oh, yeah, flipping out. We're talking about bad signs, Justin. Bad signs. Bedford Square. And now everyone kept saying, because now that Junction 10 is almost done, boy, it's a joy. Now they've raised that limit up to 50 miles an hour. I feel so much more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone said, have you seen the new Welcome to Luton sign?
It's pathetic.
I was going, no, I've not seen it. They're going to you can't miss it. And I drive in and I couldn't see the new Welcome to Luton sign. Well, I saw it the other day and now I can't stop seeing it. As you drive in on Junction 10, on the left-hand side, there's a massive mound of earth. And it says, welcome to Luton. But the M is wonky.
Wobbly M.
The M is wobbly. And I thought, oh, well, this is obviously a temporary thing. I thought maybe it was like they had plants there and it would grow into beautiful flowers.
I think it's concrete, isn't it?
It's tarmac.
Yeah.
It's tarmacked and painted over.
Do you know why it's over to one side slightly?
Why?
Advertising. They're going to put advertising there.
Oh, flipping it.
But they're going to plant trees around it so it'll look a bit less like a road.
The welcome to Luton sign is an embarrassment, Luton.
Yeah.
It's an embarrassment to you. You should be thoroughly ashamed of yourself. It's awful.
It's rubbish.
The M is wonky, guys. Get a straight. What is it? Right. This is. It's honestly, my tongue is not in my cheek when we talk about Bedford Square and. It's these small things that are broken Britain. It's these small. If we let the standards go on signs like that, then who's going to give us stuff about anything?
You know what it is? It's a broken window syndrome, right? Once we accept that some windows are broken, they'll all go. Hell in a handcart.
Can you take the Welcome to Luton sign to the streets?
With absolute pleasure.
Because I think it's an embarrassment to the town.
I think it is. And you know what? Luton's got so much to offer, so much history. Why not have a giant plane, a bit like Heathrow?
Or a big boater.
Yeah, a big boater with a hat. You could have the Littlewoods Cup. You could have a statue of Eric Morecambe. So many things that this town is famous for.
Or
but
just
you
a
know
straight
what?
M.
They've just let it go. It's embarrassing for the people.
Oh, dearie me. Justin, we'll speak to you later.
Take care, boss.
Thank you, mate. Cryptic Citizen is... we're asking where's your nan? And they've said, morbid thoughts to start the day, :open bracket. Oh, dearie me, get over yourselves. Where's your nan? It's a joyous thought. Where's your nan? Dead or alive?
Usually they're in a place that meant something to them.
Yeah, it's a joyous thought. You've misunderstood.
Kelly's is in a chip shop a bit.
There are actually quite a few good things in the story. Very quickly. There's 15 quid to enter a massive crack.
I don't like cracks.
Oh, I love a good crack, and I don't mind paying for a good crack. Look at this, 15 quid. The dark abyss of Britain's abyss.
Abyss.
The dark abyss of Britain's deepest.
Say it again.
The dark abyss.
Abyss.
Oh, I fancy abyss. The dark abyss of Britain's. Come on.
Okay, just go.
The dark abyss of Britain's deepest cavern is being opened to the public for a few days, providing they have a head for heights and pay 15 quid for the privilege of being winched hundreds of feet down. The trip into Gaping Gill.
Oh.
In North Yorkshire, and it's amazing. It's a massive. Well, it's just like it's a huge
big crack.
It's a massive crack. There's this huge gash in the ground, and you can slip into it. And it looks. You don't like this kind of stuff.
I don't like to be enclosed.
Very moist.
No, I don't like it.
It's quite big inside.
You say that, but I have to get through that.
It's like a joss stick in a cathedral.
It's squeezing through. I don't like.
All I'm saying is, I'm up for a bit of that.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the trains, there are some major delays between Marylebone and Banbury this morning in both directions. Most of the services are cancelled. A few of them are running, and they're expecting 2-hour delays on the ones that aren't cancelled. On the M25 clockwise, the entry slip road at junction 25 for Enfield is partially blocked by an accident. And on the anti-clockwise M25 at junction 21 for the M1 towards 19 for Watford, that's looking very busy too. On the M40, it's slow northbound from junction 1 for the A40 at the Denham roundabout towards the M25. And in High Wycombe, it's starting to get busy on Easton Street around the roadworks at the High Street where it's being resurfaced. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. David, thank you for your lovely picture of your nan. We're crawling out of the rabbit hole now, so no more telling us where your nan is. But that welcome to Luton sign, I mean, flippin' heck.
Local and vocal across Beds, Herts and Bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock. I'm Barry Caffrey. The headlines: Hertfordshire woman angry over family grave works. Chiltern services cancelled in Buckinghamshire this morning. And temporary arrivals hall opens at Luton Airport to allow redevelopment.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A woman from Hertfordshire says she's appalled after finding an Italian tomb built over her great-grandparents' grave. Denise Hutchins' ancestors were buried in a common grave at Hoddesdon Cemetery, and she had planted a cross a few years ago to mark the spot. More details from Ben Nye.
The 63-year-old says she visits the graves frequently, and she was horrified to discover that a mausoleum was being built over the site. Broxbourne Borough Council says it's a common grave, which means it's owned by the council and the family have no exclusive right to it. They say it's normal practice to allow markers and crosses on common graves, but only until they need to be removed.
Chiltern Railways are not running services through Buckinghamshire this morning because of signalling problems. All services between Banbury and London Marylebone and Aylesbury and Marylebone have been cancelled. Chiltern Railways tickets will be valid on Virgin Trains, First Great Western, London Midland and London Underground, whilst engineers try and fix the problem. The Swiss authorities have arrested senior officials from football's world governing body FIFA on corruption charges. The FIFA president, Sepp Blatter, is not believed to be among them. It's understood they are to be extradited to the United States to face allegations of misconduct stretching over 2 decades, including in relation to bids for World Cups. For the first time in nearly 20 years, the Queen is to present the programme of a majority Conservative government as she opens a new session of Parliament. Its expected manifesto pledges, such as a freeze on some taxes and greater powers for Holyrood, will be in the Queen's speech. But controversial plans to introduce a British Bill of Rights to replace European human rights laws have been delayed to allow further consultations to take place. A specialist dog is being used today to try and find an 83-year-old man with dementia who went missing from Weath Hampstead nearly a week ago. James Lomax was last seen leaving his home in Manor Road at about 10 to 5 last Thursday afternoon. Detective Superintendent Shirley Sargent from Hertfordshire Police says they will carry out another search today.
From that time we will review and the search may be scaled down unless further information comes to light. But we are very much dependent on the public for information.
Passengers landing at Luton Airport today will use a new temporary arrivals hall. It's been opened to allow the redevelopment of the main terminal. The airport is investing £100 million to increase passenger capacity over the next decade from 12 to 18 million a year. And the owners of a set of misspelt advertising flags in Houghton Regis say they are aware of the issue and it is being dealt with. Pictures of the Bedford Square banner flags, which have the letter A ahead of the letter U in the word square, have gone viral on social media. The weather forecast: it will be a cloudy, dry day today with some sunny spells, highs of 18 Celsius, 64 in Fahrenheit. Get the latest news online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Morning, PPIs.
Thank you, Barry. Good to have you with us this morning. More from Barry with the news as the show goes on. Here's an idea, Bedford Square. Take the flags down. Take the flag. You know the flags that are spelt wrong? Take them down. It's not difficult, is it?
Yeah, put a post-it on the door.
Yeah. Take the flags down, guys. It's an embarrassment. As is the Welcome to Luton sign. They've spent an absolute flipping fortune on Junction 10, right? And it looks great.
And it works brilliantly.
Oh, it's marvellous. I love it. And then they go and ruin it with a cheap bit of tarmac painted Welcome to Luton.
Details, guys.
Yeah.
Details.
Oh, come on. Here we go. Right. You embarrassed by the sign? I think you should be. Okay, it sounds like a trivial thing, but honestly, it's these first impressions. Here's a word for the people who live in Luton. Luton doesn't have a particularly good rap around the rest of the country. I tell people I work in Luton, they say, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. No, I love Luton. I think it's great. Doesn't have a good rap. You could make things a little bit better by having something decent as you come in. What would you put there? What would you put there as people drive into Luton? Steady.
Cross beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's a can of worms you just opened.
I know, steady. People are going to phone and say, oh, mosque. Put a mosque there. Now, what would you put there to welcome people to Luton? An aeroplane?
Just a straight sign, just one that looks nice.
The kids love the aeroplane outside Heathrow Airport.
Yep.
I don't know if it's still there. I think it might have gone. But that
it was a Concorde, wasn't it?
It was like a tiny Concorde, wasn't it?
Very pointy.
Very pointy aeroplane. I don't know what. Well,
I think people who live in Luton might be a bit offended if you put an aeroplane, though, because it's not all about the airport. I know for a lot of people it is, coming from outside, but Luton has a rich heritage
of
hat making.
There's a Greggs.
There's a Greggs and there's a Don Miller's.
There is a really nice Greggs, actually.
It used to be that as you entered Luton, the first sign you'd see was "Welcome to Luton, home of the Arndale."
Oh,
wow, a proud boast.
Gosh, it's just I just think it's these small things that make a difference. This is why. It's really important that towns spend money on having like flowers and stuff in the towns. People say, "Oh, we'll cut the budgets for get rid of the flowers." No. Those are the things that keep us sane and make us feel alive and human. Otherwise, it's all concrete.
That's why Ebenezer Howard came up with the Garden City movement.
There you see,
because he said if you treat people like caged animals, if you keep them living in slums, they'll behave like animals. So make sure they've got parks to go to, they've got breathing spaces.
We're all if Catherine and I start coughing and sneezing,
it's because he had a stick.
I've got my rabbit stick, which I used to kill rabbits live on the radio, and
he didn't, and nor did they.
But what's the biggest animal you'd kill on the radio? A fly?
An imaginary one, though.
No, a real one. Fly.
Yeah.
Spider.
No, I always show them out.
Okay, a mouse.
No.
They killed a mouse live on the Victoria Derbyshire show.
Did they?
Yes, they did.
Gosh, aren't they cruel?
Yes, they did. Anyway, so with the rabbit stick, and we'll be killing a rabbit after 8 o'clock. With the rabbit stick, I've been beating the chairs. Just for bants, I was beating the chairs in the studios. The filth that came off them, it's awful.
There's a man in the next door studio who will be horrified.
If he knew, well, I'll show him when he comes in at 8:15. If Jonathan Vernon-Smith knew what his bottom is touching now, he would be disgusted. Put his hand up. Stop.
Even though he's got trousers on, it's still, it's pervasive.
It's incredible. And that's primarily, that's dead skin.
Oh. Morning, everyone. Enjoy your cornflakes.
Good morning, guys. 08459 455 555.
Morning, weirdos.
Hey, steady on. Now, a woman from Hertfordshire is appalled after turning up at her great-grandparents' grave to find a mausoleum. Denise Hutchins' ancestors were buried in a common grave, and therefore the council have the legal right to do what they want with the plot. She had planted a cross to signify that the graves were still being visited, but that was moved to make way for the tomb. Well, Denise is on the line now. Morning, Denise.
Yes, good morning.
So tell us what happened. You went to visit your great-grandparents' grave, and what was going on?
A great big hole in the ground, really.
Blimey.
I suspected that it probably was my great-grandparents' grave. The cross was actually propped up against another grave. And on the Monday morning, I actually phoned the council, and they confirmed that, yes, it was my grandparents' grave that this mausoleum was being built over. And sorry, there was nothing I could do about it because it's what they call a common grave. Well, my understanding of a common grave and their understanding of a common grave are sort of slightly different. To me, a common grave is a mass grave for a lot of bodies. This grave was only actually ever dug for 3 bodies, and I dare say that at the time this was the norm. But I think what upset me most was that the cemetery manager was fully aware of why we had actually marked that grave. But the council have got carte blanche. They've got the law on their side, and, you know, hey-ho.
Let me put something to you, Denise, and I hope you're not offended, but if you are, I apologise in advance, but this is what some people might be thinking. It's your great-grandparents buried in there. They died in 1913 and 1920, is that right?
Yeah.
So you would never have met them. Some people might say, well, how could you have... You can't be that close to them, can you? Because it was such a long time ago.
No, I mean, I'm not offended by your question. Yes, it was a long time ago. I never actually met them, but my great-grandfather was a local photographer. I have got loads and loads of family photographs, and I admit that I'm very lucky to have that. But he's part of me. You know, it's about roots and it's about heritage, and I mean, it's quite ironic that it is actually Heritage Year. And, you know, yes, the council have got their rights, but I'm just very upset about it, mainly because we'd actually marked the plot and the cemetery manager actually knew that, you know, we cared about it.
What was your great-granddad's name?
Alfred Burton.
Alfred, and he was taking pictures at the start of the 20th century, was he?
Before that.
Oh, I bet there's some cracking ones there.
Yeah, he was a gardener, and he then became a photographer and actually a taxidermist.
Oh, blimey.
And I was sort of quite amazed. I mean, I always knew this because there was always the photographs around in the family. But when I sort of tried to actually look into how did a gardener become a photographer, then I asked an expert on photography history.
Yeah.
And he said, well, of course, he would have used chemicals as a gardener, so he used his knowledge of the chemicals to actually, well, I mean, I assume that he taught himself the trade.
How many of his pictures have you got?
Oh, well, hundreds.
You want to get those in a book, Denise. I love those pictures from the late 1800s. I think that it's just such a magical kind of look into history, isn't it?
Yeah, you see, all this is not... I mean, I was really upset at the time, but all this is not really about the plot of land. It's about the local history, the social history, who we are today, and the fact that they went before us, and, you know... Hey-ho, if they didn't go before us, we wouldn't be here today, would we?
You've got other relatives buried elsewhere at the cemetery, have you?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of family graves, the council might say that, you know, we could have put... I mean, this is not only me. I've contacted several descendants of Alfred, and, you know, we're all as cross as one another, really. But, yeah, I mean, there's two older graves that I actually visit that sort of probably go back to sort of, you know, before the 1913.
We got an email. Do you know Clive Morrison?
No.
Okay, well, Clive has emailed in. I just wanted to say, I know this story may seem strange to you, Ian, but it's still someone's family. Have some respect. I'm 79 in a few weeks, and I completely understand where this lady is coming from. I never knew my grandparents, let alone great-grandparents, but I'd be upset. Family is family, no matter what the time frame. Now, listen to this, because he knows about your great-granddad. I live in Hoddesdon, and I find it funny that Broxbourne Council are celebrating their Heritage Year. Mr. Burton, who's in the grave, was a well-known photographer at the time, and his photos are hung up in a local watering hole.
Yes, that's right. That's
really?
Right. Yes, yeah. It's actually quite funny because I don't know whether I can sort of say the name of the local watering hole.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, it's the Star. It's a Wetherspoons public house, and they have recently renovated an older coaching inn, because Hoddesdon is, you know, its history goes back to sort of, you know, coaching inns with stables, etc., etc. And we tried to get in there at Christmas, but it was absolutely packed, and they closed the doors. So the first time my husband and I went in there, we were sitting there eating our lunch, and I just sort of stared at the wall, and who should be looking back at me but Alfred?
Oh no! How funny!
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Denise, what would you like to see happen?
Well, I mean, I know that there's no actual way of retrieving this grave, but I would like the council, especially as it's Heritage Year, to actually acknowledge that these people existed in the town.
Couldn't they put like a little plaque or something?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like the council to actually erect a general memorial
Yeah.
with all the names and dates of all those people who, because it's not only Alfred's grave that's involved, it's other people's, just to acknowledge that they existed, really. I mean, the other interesting question is, there's lots of these Italian mausoleums going up, but are the Italians actually aware that it's not virgin land that these are being built on? And I don't know the answer to that.
Denise, one final question. I'm fascinated by your great-granddad. Are the pictures kind of like local pictures?
There are some local pictures. A lot of them, he actually had his own studio.
Wow. What a character.
Yeah, I know.
This is my... Can I make...
You can see why I'm so proud of him.
Can I make a suggestion? And take this up if you want. Get those published in a book. Get a nice book published. And do you know what? It's dead easy to publish books now and for them to be proper.
One on another side of the family.
Oh, well, get some of his pictures published in a book. Get in touch with 3CR. You'll be on the Nick Coffer show. He'd love to talk about that. And I'd love to listen. Nick Coffer is on at midday.
Oh, right, yeah.
He would get those pictures in a book.
Yeah.
Get back in touch. Nick would have you on as a guest. He'd love to talk to you, and I know that I'd love to listen and have a look at those pictures.
Yeah.
And also be a nice tribute to him, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. I mean, I at one time had them all up on my my stairway.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
And my daughter at the time sort of said, "Oh, why do you want all those pictures of all those dead people on your walls?" So I tried to explain to her why, but she didn't really get it. And then after her granddad died, after my dad died, a few months later, she turned around to me all out of the blue and said, "Mum, I now understand the significance of those pictures that you've got on the walls."
You don't get it when you're young, do you? You don't get it when you're young and you haven't lost people.
That's right. But
Denise, listen, I've got to move on. It's really nice to talk to you.
Okay.
Thanks for getting in touch. And, just that idea of a book, I know lots of people would like to have a look at that, so just keep it in the back of your head.
Yeah, thanks for the exposure as well.
Thank you, Denise.
It's been unbelievable. Thank you.
Thank you, ta-ta. What a nice lady. What a nice lady, and what a fascinating story. And I appreciate your email as well, Clive. Thank you for that. Wasn't she good?
She was so good.
I love old pictures, and she's right. My dad used to, go to... My dad used to collect junk, and he would go to, flea markets and stuff, and he'd spend hours rifling through old pictures, and you think, what are you doing that for? Come on. Then as you get older, you go, oh, yeah, actually.
They're fantastic.
They're fantastic. Denise, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There are still major problems on trains between Banbury and Marylebone. All their trains are delayed by around 2 hours. There's lots of cancellations too on the line between High Wycombe and Banbury and London Marylebone because of a signalling problem. And on the motorways, the M25 has the entry slip road at junction 25 for Enfield partially blocked by an accident, which is starting to cause some queues. And anti-clockwise on the M25, it's slow from junction 17 for Maple Cross to 16 for the M40. On the M40 is slow northbound from the A40 at the Denham roundabout towards the M25. And in Milton Keynes, looking at the speed sensors through the roadworks at the Kingston roundabout, it's a little bit slow there, being told to expect delays because of those roadworks. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. Covered in dust now. You've been what?
I've been sneezing my head off.
What you just said in my ear. I'm having trouble breathing. 7:17. It's Wednesday, the 27th of May. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A woman from Hertfordshire says she's appalled after finding a tomb built over her great-grandparents' grave in Hoddesdon. And the Queen will open a new session of Parliament later this morning, outlining the Conservatives' legislative programme for the coming year.
BBC Three Counties Radio. Nick Coffer on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Every day it's not just about great music and great conversation.
I'll get a bit technical here.
It's about local experts helping you across beds, hearts and bucks.
So what we're talking about then is capital gains tax potentially on the portion of the property that they directly own.
On finance, relationships.
But look at the way that you have contributed to this situation.
Health.
When you have a cough, which can seem quite innocuous in this way, but just irritating, asthma is something that we would think of.
Your pets.
Particularly if your dog is a
border collie cross, it will be epilepsy.
And even law.
You still cannot say, Judge, you have to stick to this. But the judge's approach now is going to be, well, why shouldn't we?
Local advice for local people.
Nick Coffer, weekdays from 12 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
That trail confuses me. It really does. Is she saying all border collie crosses have got epilepsy?
That's the way it sounded.
That's what I mean. I don't know
Maybe
anything.
it's something that they suffer with commonly.
Oh.
Maybe that's what she meant. Like boxer dogs and bad hips.
No, I don't know about boxer dogs and bad hips.
Sometimes they're bred in a way that means that they're more susceptible to certain injuries.
Pedigree animals, they're all genetically weak because it's all inbreeding.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why they don't live very long and they all get diseases. Significant higher. Bored of that sentence. You know, when you start a sentence, halfway through, I'm bored of this.
Alsatians as well. They get bad hips.
Sorry, Kelly?
I think that when you speak.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's great to have you back.
Glad to have you back.
How long are you stopping?
Just forever now.
Oh.
You're listening to Iain Lee. He's a very, very silly man.
Well, that's just rude. Now, spell square. Kelly, spell square!
SCU. What? Oh my God!
Oh, ladies and gentlemen!
No, I meant.
That's fine. That's fine, Kelly. Microphone's off. There's the podcast. Just put that as the podcast. That 30 seconds. I knew if I said it quickly, she'd get confused.
Because she was so methodical last time. She even did the head. S-Q-U-A-R.
There's no good spelling it in tandem with your mate. You spelt square on local radio, and you're lucky we've had the recent figures in. There's no one listening, but...
You think that's bad? You know when she typed on the screen? Yeah. It's like, item. Come on then, Kelly.
I-T-E-M-K-E-L-L-Y. I-S-A-N-U-M-P-T-Y. Put that in the podcast, and I'll be listening to this week's podcast and make sure that you do.
That is not going in.
That's going to be my new ringtone. Nope. Well, OK, it turns out square is actually quite a tricky word to spell. Well, in Houghton Regis, Bedford Square, OK, 6 big flags have gone up. They're massive ones, and they've spelt square wrong. S-Q-A-U-R-E. I'm not going to ask our next guest to spell square. That would be unfair. But Andrew Selous, the MP for South West Bedfordshire, which covers Houghton Regis. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning.
I'm sorry you had to listen to that. Turns out your lot might be right about the BBC. But it's, what do you reckon to these signs? Have you seen them?
I have seen them, yes. I've seen a photograph of them, and I'd be very grateful if whoever put them up could change them as quickly as possible to the correct spelling.
It's embarrassing, isn't it?
I think it's important to get it right for the reputation of Houghton Regis. They're right in the heart of the town. It's obviously a stupid mistake, and I gather no one's taking responsibility for it at the moment, but I think I and everyone locally would be very grateful if they could be changed and put to the correct spelling as quickly as possible.
It sounds like it's a flippant story, but I genuinely think that things like this are so important. It's about standards, isn't it? It's about standards. And Houghton Regis is getting loads of press now for all of the wrong reasons.
Well, I agree with you on standards, and I think it's often journalists and people like you in the media who really understand the importance of spelling because it's the currency of your business, isn't it? So people in the media absolutely get it. I think we have teachers in schools who try very hard, to teach children to spell correctly. We now actually give it marks in exams, which didn't used to happen in the past. So it is important to get these things right. Language is a common currency we all use to communicate with each other. And as I said, I think this was just a silly mistake, and I really would be very grateful if the flags could be changed to the correct spelling as quickly as possible.
You sound like a stern teacher, which is I think is the right attitude to take, because it is, surely whoever at some stage, there are so many stages of these flags being ordered, being printed, being received, being put up, that someone should have gone, hang on a second. Hang on, we got a problem. Stop, phone the gaffer. And it doesn't take much to, surely the boss, whoever the boss is, this nameless person that we can't seem to put a finger on, should go, right, take those down. We're not having, I'd rather have nothing up than those.
I think you're right, and I think it's about checking. When I was training to be a soldier at Sandhurst a long time ago, I was told if it's not checked, it's not done, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of checking. No one's actually just sort of looked to make sure that this was done properly. I mean, we all make silly mistakes. I'm sure some of my constituents will probably ring you up and say I've sent them a letter with a spelling mistake.
Yes, there's going to be loads of that wrong, now, Andrew. Yeah, you're right.
If I've got something wrong, I apologise, because it is important to get spelling right, and this is the heart of Houghton Regis, and as I say, I'd be very grateful if whoever's put them up could replace them with flags correctly spelled.
Nice one, Andrew. I really appreciate your time on this. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Cheers. Andrew Selous, MP for South West Bedfordshire, and all-round good egg. And there'll be loads of younger people going, well, a couple of boring old idiots. Oh, genuinely. I think it's so important. Yeah, all right. You're spelling something at home, and we all do make mistakes. I've made mistakes on Twitter and stuff like that, and that's wrong. The BBC are really strict about it. If you're sending they get furious if a tweet or a Facebook post is misspelled.
And so they should. It makes us look like idiots.
It does. You should, and everything has to be kind of checked if you're sending it from an official BBC account.
Well, the other thing is that Twitter now is opened the field to anyone to write down stuff.
Yeah.
But that's how you are judged is the way you write.
Oh, you're a pedant for pointing out spelling mistakes. No, not pedant. I just like things to be accurate. Oh no, that is a pedant. But I do. I do sound like a boring old man. But I think it's important. I don't think we should
be embarrassed about being pedantic about spelling. It's important stuff.
Yeah, do you know what? You're right. We should. I'm feeling slightly embarrassed about highlighting this, and you shouldn't highlight it. It's outrageous.
It is, and my pedantry is deeply ingrained. I'm a second-generation pedant. My dad's an editor of a newspaper, so sub-editor. So from the...
Well, hang on, is he an editor or sub-editor?
We're a sub-editor.
So okay, because you said editor to
people
start
don't know what sub-editor is.
Well, I get the idea from the word sub that it's less than an editor. I just think
it's not
accuracy. I'm not being a pedant. Well, I am.
You are a bit.
Well, but there's nothing wrong with pedantry. I'm not ashamed, as you said, of being a pedant.
Okay. Well, I'm glad. I've released that beast.
I just don't release the beast.
Anyway.
Won't get it back in the cage.
Really?
Don't wake the beast. But
anyway, yeah, so he edited my... Yeah, I know that's what you meant. And I heard it.
Okay.
I heard you say that. With your mouth. Anyway, so my dad used to edit my essays, and I'd get red pen through
Would
stuff.
he edit your essays, or would he sub-edit your essays?
He'd sub them, yeah.
So, okay, so he was a sub-editor of essays now, not even a newspaper.
Well, no, it was newspapers, but...
It sounds like he's just a bloke.
He's part-time, in his part-time, free time as a dad, he would...
sub-edit. So he would cheat for you, for school? That's outrageous.
No, he wouldn't. He would shame me into being concise and not going on about stuff.
There's not enough shaming of kids these days.
Thanks, Dad.
You're very welcome.
Not you.
Oh.
My actual dad.
Well, you don't know about the time machine I've got.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. Orquado. 08459 455 555. I guess today's show is...
You guess or you know?
No, I'm guessing.
Okay.
Today's show... Do you know what? What's going on with you, Betsy? Is she crying or laughing? Is she crying about the square?
She's crying, yeah. She's only been back an hour and a half.
It's great to have you back, by the way.
Great.
Today's show is... There's a linking theme to the Welcome to Luton sign, the Bedford Square, and the graves.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about standards...
And
detail, heritage and history. It's about presentation. It's all about presentation. It's about how we present ourselves to others, how others perceive us.
You ironed that shirt?
Yeah, I did, actually.
Your buttons are done up wrong, actually.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
No,
They
they're not,
match.
mate. What do you mean they're
Not
not?
in line.
It doesn't matter. What do you mean they're not? It's a wonky button shirt.
Anyway, presentation-wise, important.
Oh, you're... actually, that's for you, and that's for you.
Thanks.
One each.
08459 455 555. I'm right on this. I don't want to give them the number out. They've stopped calling in. I think it's because of the Littlest Hobo. Oh, I had a message on Facebook. There's a message on the Facebook page about the Littlest Hobo. It's not coming back, guys. It's deleted. Where is it on the BBC Three Counties
We
page?
only deleted an imaginary dog. We didn't kill a rabbit.
Well, neither did they.
No.
This is for our fine friend, Mr. Lee, says Lorraine Kelly Claxton. I go camping over the bank holiday. Ooh!
Get you?
And I come back to find out that you not allow... Oh, we talk about standards, Lorraine. I go camping over the bank holiday and I come back to find that you not allowed to play Littlest Hobo. My hopes and dreams are shattered. Shattered, I say. A partition should be made to let you play it. Ignore the haters. You know why. there's a voice keeps on calling me. Down the road, that's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Well, Lorraine, if you want to draw up a partition, then you're more than welcome to. It won't have any effect.
I'll sign it.
And also, can I just
be Pacific for a second?
Pacific for a second. It's not that we're not allowed, we're just not doing it.
Yeah,
no one stopped us.
Mark stopped us.
All right. Okay.
I could add it in though.
No.
I could.
Well, we could, but we're not going to.
No, we're not going. It's gone.
No.
It's gone.
I might.
And then Leah says, I am an IT expert. Oh, really?
Or is she an IT expert?
In your deleted items is the Littlest Hobo song. Go to deleted items and restore it because it's great to listen to on the way to work. It's a lifter as opposed to a floater. I've just seen the TV episode on YouTube. OK, how sad is that? But come on! You can't delete it just because of one silly listener. You really have to play it now as your theme tune or we'll all boycott the licence fee, then you won't get paid.
Gosh, that escalated quickly, didn't it?
I'm with her on that.
Then she says...
you can't be...
Your listeners have spoken. Bring back the hobo song. There is a slight twist to this, you see, because in a way we all imagine it's you singing it.
What?
Therefore, you have a great singing voice, so go to your recycle bin and restore it. It's so simple. And then 10 minutes after that, she wrote, grrr.
I know what she means. Because it's your show, you think it's you singing it. Like, I thought Rodney sang Only Fools and Horses.
Well, I thought Rodney sang Only Fools and Horses. Great story, Kels. Great to have you back.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There are serious delays on the trains from Banbury to Marylebone on Chiltern Railway between the other ones through High Wycombe and Princess Risborough. It's suspended because of a signalling problem, so that can be having 2-hour delays that are expected to go on until 10 o'clock this morning. On the M40 northbound, it's slow from the Denham roundabout at the A40 towards the M25, and clockwise on the M25, the entry slip road at junction 25 for Enfield's partially blocked by an accident. In Bricket Wood on the North Orbital Road, that's slow at the M25 junction 21A roundabout, and it's busy in Watford on Exchange Road around Beech and Grove. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, thank you. Rob's tweeted a picture of the Welcome to Luton sign. I'll retweet it so you can, if you've not seen it, you'll know what it looks like. I mean, it just looks awful. Rob says, it says a lot about a town when its welcome sign is formed of tarmac rather than flowers and hanging baskets. And he's right.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30 with the headlines. I'm Barry Caffrey. A woman from Hertfordshire says she's angry after finding a tomb built over her great-grandfather's grave. Denise Hutchins' ancestors were buried in a common grave at Hoddesdon Cemetery. Broxbourne Borough Council says as it's a common grave, it means it's owned by the council and the family have no exclusive right to it. Chiltern Railways are not running any services through Buckinghamshire this morning because of signalling problems. All services between Banbury and London Marylebone and Aylesbury and Marylebone have been cancelled. Passengers landing at Luton Airport today will use a new temporary arrivals hall. It's been opened to allow the redevelopment of the main terminal. The airport is investing £100 million to increase passenger capacity over the next decade from 12 to 18 million a year. The owners of a set of misspelt advertising flags in Houghton Regis say they are aware of the issue and it's being dealt with. Pictures of the Bedford Square banner flags, which have the letter A ahead of the letter U in the word square, have gone viral on social media. The weather forecast, it will be a cloudy, dry day today with some sunny spells and highest temperatures expected of 18 degrees Celsius, that's 64 in Fahrenheit.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The BBC understands Watford are close to replacing boss Lovisa Jukanovic with Getafe and former Atletico Madrid manager Quique Sanchez Flores. Jukanovic, who's 46, led Watford to automatic promotion from the Championship to the Premier League this season. However, his contract expires at the end of next month and talks have broken down over his contract demands. Watford have now approached 50-year-old Spaniard Flores, who is set to become the Hornets' fifth manager in a year. A senior FIFA source has confirmed to the BBC that a number of FIFA officials have been arrested in a dawn raid at their hotel in Zurich. It's thought the suspects are facing extradition to the US on corruption charges. Reports late last year said that a former FIFA official, Chuck Blazer, was a cooperating witness for an investigation into corruption in the governing body. However, as our sports news correspondent Richard Conway reports, he says it's not clear if today's events are linked to that.
We know from an internal report that Mr. Blazer, along with Jack Warner, who's also been named as someone who's of interest to the authorities this morning, took around $88 million from CONCACAF over the 20 years. Whether it's related to that, whether it's related to other matters, we just don't know. We're expecting there to be a press conference held later today, about 3:30 UK time, we understand, in New York, where we may find out more information about what has happened.
Tennis now, and Serena Williams is through to the second round of the French Open in Paris. The two-time champion beat the Czech qualifier Andrea Helevakova 6-2, 6-3, but admits she's still struggling with an elbow injury.
It's not 100%, but I was able to serve okay. I didn't serve as many aces as I normally do, but I think the good thing, it gets better every day. Hopefully, if I can win another round, it'll be better.
BBC Three Counties Radio News and Sport. I'm back with more at 8.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. We've got rid of, this is the Littlest Hobo. This is the new Littlest Hobo.
Bird's eye potato waffles, waffly versatile. They go with eggs, beans, chips, fish fingers. Oh, fish fingers. Bird's eye potato waffles, waffly versatile.
What have we been talking about? We've been talking about bad spelling, bad signage. The sign coming into Luton looks awful. I've been thinking about talking about this sign, the Welcome to Luton sign, for ages, thinking, well, should we be, should I tiptoe around it? Should I be a little bit gentle? Well, no, it looks awful. It
spoils a good development.
It spoils a good development. It looks absolutely rubbish. Hey, Luton Council, if you want to come in and tell us it's only temporary, then that's great. They won't.
It isn't.
Is it not? Is it there forever?
I think they're going to plant trees around it, and there'll be some advertising next to it. That's why it's slightly to one side.
Okay, right. Well, it looks awful. The Bedford Square sign that's spelt incorrectly. Spell square!
S.
Kelly!
S. Q. U. A. R. E.
Well,
if you listen to that again, you'll hear Kelly's brain ticking.
Yeah. It's absolutely wonderful. Well done for that.
Also, the rabbit, we don't believe it died.
Oh, yeah, so these Dutch people, okay, they're doing a radio show. These Dutch people...
Danish.
No, thanks, I'm full.
Oh.
These Dutch radio presenters
Danish.
doing a radio show... No, thanks, I'm full. These Dutch...
Danish.
Radio presenters. It's in all the papers. It was on all the news yesterday, and LBC were going nuts for it. Apparently, Kay Burley was going nuts for it. She couldn't find anybody. She couldn't find any people whose relatives have recently died, so she could tell them on live television. So she was banging on about this rabbit. These radio presenters. They were having a debate about ethics and animal cruelty and where we get our meat from and all of this stuff. And they had a rabbit in the studio. And they had a bicycle pump, and they stoved the rabbit's head in. They killed it by battering it with a bicycle pump.
Live on air.
Live on air. Really shocking, upset a lot of people.
The rabbit was called Alan.
Yeah. It never happened, guys. The Emperor is naked. It never happened. And as far as I'm aware, I'm the only person that's called this out. Nobody else has called this out. It never happened. If it happened, guys, where's the video? We know, for example, that radio people are obsessed, and I've got no idea why. It's not good enough. It's just radio. Everything has to be filmed. Hey, will it look good? I don't care if it looks good.
Will it go viral?
Will it go? No, I don't know. Will it look good? We could film that. Look good. I don't care. I'm doing a radio show. Go away. So this would have been filmed, and there is film of it. There's film of the guy in the studio getting the rabbit out of the box.
It's a tiny, tiny rabbit.
And that's all there is. There's no other film of it, because do you know why? It didn't happen.
Do you know what makes me think it didn't happen?
Yeah.
Obviously, no video.
Theatre of the mind.
Next thing, we're supposed to believe you took it home and ate it. Have you ever eaten a rabbit, like a full-size rabbit? There's very little meat on it. It's really hard to get to. If you're going to eat a baby rabbit, you might get a mouthful.
Yeah.
It's nonsense. Wow. It's nonsense.
Anything more than a mouthful is a waste. Is that what they say about rabbits? They say about something.
I don't think that's rabbits.
So it didn't happen. Is it? You all know that, don't you? You all know from listening to this show that Oh man! Do you know? Partly it annoys me because everyone fell for it, but then partly I think those guys are geniuses. What they've done is a brilliant prank.
And in 2 weeks' time, there'll be a lot of people with egg on their faces, and a lot of people will be either furious about it.
They
or
won't have egg on their face.
Guys.
They won't smash an egg.
Well,
they'll pretend to smash an egg.
Yeah.
So it won't happen. It's just I kind of feel a bit.
But has it worked though? Because we're not really talking about animal rights in this, are we?
No, we're talking about the radio
station being cruel.
Imagine if we did something like that at the BBC. Oh, they would go nuts.
The boss has backed them up as well, hasn't he? He was the one talking to Kay Burley yesterday, the boss of the radio station.
Yeah. Oh, Burley. Did Burley's first question should have been, so, right, this didn't happen, did it? I mean, obviously phrase it a little bit better than that. But,
or it should have been, do you think we're stupid?
Do you think we're stupid? 08459 455 555, by the way. I don't want to give the telephone number out. No one calls anymore.
Someone might.
No, they won't. No one calls anymore. I'm beginning to think the phones are broken or something. Or the well, I've seen the listener figures. I don't know why no one calls. They ain't listening. Got any texts?
Yes. So someone's listening.
Hey.
And they've got phones.
Oh.
Alan in Milton Keynes, welcome to Luton sign is made from stone chippings. It still looks 1, 2, 3, 4 asterisks though.
What could that possibly be?
Don't know. Jules from Hemel. I, for one, am glad the Littlest Hobo song has gone. Yeah. I used to switch channels from the time you played it. Good riddance. Regards, Jules from Hemel.
Well, it's gone.
And this one from Linda. You're talking about terrible spelling. What about the awful grammar? Spelt wrong.
You leave my grammar out of this. She's dead.
The 2 newsreaders off of BBC Look East.
Sorry?
They always say Stuart and me when it's Stuart and I. No, it's not. You're wrong. Another is 2 times when in grammar...
It should be 2 times.
It would be twice. All TV stations seem to be as bad as each other. It's good that you have standards now. I used to think they were wrong for saying that's all from Stuart and me. Take Stuart out. That's all from me.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say that's all from I. They drilled us into us at school,
Did
and they didn't
70s,
tell us.
wasn't it?
They didn't tell us that you have to think about it logically because it was
if
always
you would say,
and
if you would say I am going for a drive. Kelly and I are going for a drive.
Where?
Huh?
Where?
No, we're not.
What you just said?
No.
You're in
I am going for a drive.
Yeah.
Kelly and I are going for a drive.
Where?
We're not. Me go for drive. Kelly and me go for drive.
Where?
So they're both right. We're not going for a drive, mate. I can't open the passenger door of my car.
How do you climb through?
How do you spell car?
C-A-R.
She's learning.
I hate. Oh, there's a phone call. Unless it's someone we don't talk to. I hate stags.
Men who are getting married or the beast?
I mean, how is this in the newspaper? I've hangover slept. Boozer's bus shock. Exclusive by Holly Christodoulou.
Fair enough.
A stag why is this even in the newspaper? Why are we celebrating? Do you know, I'm getting really annoyed with this country and the fact we celebrate stupidity. We celebrate stupidity.
It's the new thing.
Hey, look, that guy's an idiot. Let's give him... you know that woman who didn't know David Cameron was? So she got taken around Madame Tussauds and was a 2-page spread in all the papers. Mm-hmm. We celebrate stupidity. Those idiots from Towie... anyway, I don't even know their flipping names.
You know that radio presenter who did a song in an ill-advised Jamaican accent?
Oh, come and vote for the UKIP. Yeah. My name is Michael Reid.
And expressed in a political opinion.
Yeah.
Despite the fact he works for the BBC. He's been taken to Jamaica to learn about Jamaica on a television programme.
There was one of the greatest programmes, I think it was Channel 5, ever did. And it was genius, right?
Celebrity Road Rage?
No. I did the voiceover for that.
Did you?
That was my voice, yeah.
Well done, I never watched it.
No, it was brilliant. They got Mike Reid, the comedian.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, the racist... He was old school jokes about Pakistanis and blacks, right?
He didn't mean no harm, though.
And what they did was they got him to black up as a Rastafarian.
I think I saw this.
And perform stand up in front of a black crowd. And they loved him. And then he went, hang on a second, I'm going to show you something.
He didn't do the voice.
He did the voice, yeah. Hang on a second, I'm going to show you something, man. He was doing all that. And he took off the black makeup and everyone went, oh, it's a white guy. Oh, it's Mike Reid from EastEnders. Oh, we've been tricked by a racist. It was brilliant. I can't remember what the point... There was a point to it. I can't remember what the point was. It's great to have you back, Kelly.
Thank you.
A stag-do Brit so drunk he fell asleep in the luggage hold of a bus, woke up 200 miles away. Why are we celebrating this? Jordan Adams, 33, got lost leaving a club in Munich, Germany, but ended up in Switzerland. I only want to help you, Switzerland. He had tried to make his way back to a hotel half a mile away from the club. He tried to get a cab in the rain. There's a lot of trying, not much doing, but could not remember the hotel's name. The sozzled company director staggered over to a coach and tried talking to the driver, who told him to F off. Good. Jordan went round the side of the coach and curled up in the luggage hold. He woke up 4 hours later in Zurich. Jordan, on his brother-in-law's stag weekend, said, I woke up in this huge coach park with the driver effing and blinding at me. I ran out and kept seeing signs for Zurich and a huge Swiss flag. An idiot. Why is this even in the newspaper? Why are we celebrating this idiot?
Have I got this wrong? I've never been on a stag do, but isn't the groom supposed to be the one that gets stitched up, not the groom's brother?
Why, Peter, why do we celebrate stupidity these days?
The world is bananas.
The world is, but 5 bananas. You're absolutely spot on. What have you got for us, Peter?
Sorry, pardon?
Hello?
I didn't get that last remark.
I said, what have you got for us?
Yes. Gaping Gill. I have been down Gaping Gill with my wife.
Oh, this is the story. It's in the Express. It's a massive hole in the ground, and it goes down. And it looks beautiful.
It's magnificent. You're strapped to a bosun's chair, and it takes about 3 minutes to descend at an angle of 3 degrees, which is the same angle that an aircraft lands at Heathrow.
Also one of Prince Charles's favourite bands.
Well, yes, not half. We've heard all about it, and we've seen them.
I don't think we have heard all about it, but anyway, yes, carry on.
And when you get down there, you're greeted with a cup of tea, and you're shown about, etc. It's a massive walk, huge hole, and there are people going into holes underneath, further caving. They're mad. They're mad.
I love it. I love and we nearly did this last year, but Catherine threw a Spaniard in the works and we never got to go.
I don't like cracks.
We were all going to go caving. But I like the idea of caves you can walk in. I don't like the ones where you've got to crawl and wriggle. That fills me with dread.
Claustro.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Chiltern Railway trains between Banbury and Marylebone are still suspended and delayed because of the signalling problem. On the M25 clockwise, the entry slip road at junction 25 for Enfield is partially blocked by an accident, and it's also busy anti-clockwise from junction 24 for Potters Bar to 23 for the A1M at South Mims. On the M14 northbound, that's busy from the Denham roundabout towards the M25. In Beaconsfield, the A355 is slow southbound at the M40 junction 2, and in Watford on Exchange Road, that's busy around Beach and Grove on the speed sensors. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. 7:46, Wednesday the 27th of May. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A woman from Hertfordshire says she's appalled after finding a mausoleum built over her great-grandparents' grave. The council says as it's a common grave, she has no right to it. And senior officials from FIFA, football's world governing body, have been arrested in Switzerland on suspicion of accepting and paying millions of dollars in bribes. Let's get the weather. Here's Sarah.
Beds, Hearts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you. With an hour of sunshine, the temperatures have jumped up by about 3 or 4 degrees in some spots after what was a fairly chilly start. We're still at 8 Celsius across much of the 3 counties, but some good spells of sunshine, and really that's the story for the day today, is that we continue with good sunshine this morning, although we will see an increase in cloud this afternoon. Before that, temperatures certainly up in the high teens. A really nice day for you, I think, with a high of 18 Celsius. But that cloud really starting to move towards us from the west as we go through the second half of the afternoon. Could bring us a little bit of light and patchy rain through this evening or the early hours of tomorrow morning. The wind's picking up too, but it should all start to clear away by breakfast tomorrow morning. So another bright day for tomorrow, bright and breezy, a little bit cooler than today at 15 or 16 degrees. Friday we'll see some rain, quite heavy through the morning into the afternoon, some heavy afternoon showers with hail and thunder. And for the weekend, looking dry, bright and settled for Saturday, some rain for Sunday, still on the the cool side on Saturday, but getting the sunshine should feel quite pleasant at 15 degrees.
Every weekday morning.
Coming up at 9 on the Big Phone In this morning, is it a good idea to make jobless teenagers work for their benefits?
How would you like this country to stand up to President Putin? Are you surprised to see British people being blatantly racist?
The JVS Show.
I think we've got to get over this issue about racism doesn't exist. It has existed. It will probably carry on existing.
What I wanted to say is they've got this completely the wrong way round. You know, that is also true. That is also true.
You will always get some, but they are such a minority.
I think the man's a buffoon. Get him up, get him out of bed, give him a sense of purpose.
The JVS Show.
Do you think we have got to, as a country, start taking this issue more seriously?
Every weekday morning on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning, Tony.
Oh, hello, Ian.
What have you got for us, fella?
Oh, well, I was interested in this, the Luton sign.
Yes.
For a start, where is it?
It's in Luton.
Yeah, whereabouts?
Oh, you come off the new Junction 10, and it's on the left-hand side.
Oh, more or less where the old one was then.
Yeah, but it's massive.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, it sounds interesting. When you say massive, Ian, how big?
Oh, I'm gonna say it's 25 foot wide and 15 foot tall.
Oh, it is pretty massive.
No, it's probably about 50 foot wide.
Blimey.
Catherine,
No,
that sound about right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 50 foot wide and 15 foot tall.
Oh, pretty eye-catching then.
Yes.
Ah, right. Yeah, well, I'm disappointed that it doesn't look as good as you would hope it would be.
Yeah.
Because I think Luton's a fantastic place.
Why do you live in
having
Milton
grown up-
Keynes then, Tony?
Sorry?
Why do you live in Milton Keynes then?
Oh, I'm not living here. I'm on the Grand Union, so I'm just passing through.
Oh, I see.
What do you think they should have there instead of this embarrassment of a sign?
Well, something that reflects the local history, I think. You know, a big hat, maybe.
There you go. You see a giant hat. Boy, oh boy, wouldn't we all love to see a giant hat there?
A big Panama or something like that.
Yay, Tony, listen, thank you very much. I'd love to see a giant hat.
So would I.
A giant hat would be awesome.
Because it represents the town, it represents the people, it represents their history. That's why.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course you can.
What are you doing in here, mate?
I just thought I'd come in.
I'm on the defensive.
I just thought I'd come in and feel the vibe. Why not?
You only ever come in if you've got a cough or a clown.
On this occasion, neither. My woody is not working. Yes. Somebody has broken my wood.
Hazard of the job.
Yeah.
Do you want to welcome Kelly back?
Kelly, welcome back.
Thanks, man.
That's all right.
It's great to have you back, Kels.
Thanks, man.
So, Delia and I went out on a date at the weekend, Kelly.
To see Paul McCartney?
Yeah.
Hey, how's his Meat-Free Mondays going? Did you ask him about that?
I forgot to ask him all about his Meat-Free Mondays. That was the problem. I knew there was something
That's
that
the main thing he's famous for, isn't it?
we meant to ask him.
Hey, hi there.
Yeah.
Paul speaking.
I know Paul.
Listen, I need your help.
What?
All I want you to do is just log in on pledge.meatfreemondays.com and pledge your support to the idea of Meat-Free Mondays.
Okay.
All you need to do.
Tell me what to do.
I need your help.
Yes.
Please do it.
You said that. What do you want?
Send all these pledges to the politicians, and then they'll do something about it.
Are they going to be bothered?
So I need your help.
What do you want me to do?
Please,
Tell me.
Just log in.
Okay.
Pledge.meatfreemondays or one word.
Could you do that reggae style?
Pledge.meatfreemondays.com. Pledge.meatfreemondays.com. Pledge.meatfreemondays.com.
When do you want me to do it, Paul?
You can do it right now, please.
I can't, mate. I'm doing a radio show, Paul.
Do you know what? I think if you'd have done that at the concert, that bloke behind us still would have shouted out, "Nice one, Paul!"
If we'd done that instead of all of his rubbish new ones.
My Valentine, I met you, you're my Valentine. This one's for my wife.
Oh, for goodness. Didn't sing any songs about Heather. I hate you so much right now! I hate you so much right now! You should have done.
Do you know what? If it had done that, the place would have gone absolutely wild.
I just remembered another. I mean, listen, 2/3 of it was brilliant, 1/3 of it was guff. Another bit that was guff, right? He started. Which song was it? I think. Oh, hang on a second. Let me see if I can find it here. I think was it this song he started playing? What was this a song where and the pictures came up on the screen? Okay, so he started. Okay, hang on a second. Let me stop this. Right, it's okay. He sits down at the piano. He's played a load of guff, right? And then he starts playing this. Brilliant. We're in. Pictures on the screen. First picture. Princess Di.
That was it. That was the one that you laughed. Yeah.
Lady Di comes up.
Well, not even Madonna.
Not even Madonna. Mother Teresa.
Wonder how you managed to
Marilyn Monroe.
it's me who finds the money.
Mona Lisa.
Mona Lisa.
No, you're kidding me.
No. All these women come up. And then there's a bit. Hang on, there's a bit coming up. Right? Comes in. So all these women. I think the Queen Mum may have been up there as well. I think
she was.
She was up there.
She
wasn't
definitely was.
The Queen Mum was up there. Fatima Whitbread. Moira Stewart. There we go. Footage of women running.
No,
he did, didn't he?
He did.
Footage of women running.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, God.
I can't deny it. Fact, not fiction.
It was fact, wasn't it? Absolute
incredible.
fact. See how they run. Women of women running. The thing is, right? I've seen the Monkees live and the Beach Boys live. The Monkees in particular, but the Beach Boys as well. Their back projections were amazing. Mainly the Monkees because they had a TV series. So they got loads of footage to choose from. But brilliant back projections, and the Beach Boys did as well. Like loads of teen magazines from the 60s, loads of rare 60s footage, all of this stuff. And I thought McCartney wasted an opportunity. There's so much Beatles and Wings and McCartney footage. It's a great montage before he came on, and then it was wasted. There's all these silly pictures of Lady Di.
It was a bit weird. Yeah.
Should have had some brilliant rare footage of McCartney from the 70s.
I think maybe you should be working on the Macca team.
And also, I did think, everyone's going, oh, it's great, it was just him in the band. Well, yeah, no, but throw a few gimmicks in, guys. Throw a few gimmicks, Maybe do a song on a pogo or something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just liven it up a bit.
And also, more stories about you, Paul. We're here to see you. Jimi Hendrix died years ago. We don't want to talk about Jimi Hendrix. We want to know about the Beatles.
He's telling a story about how Jimi Hendrix covered Sgt. Pepper. Yeah, and I said very loudly, and again he got a laugh from the chicks next to us, I said he should just come out and go, hey, my name's Paul McCartney. I was in the flipping Beatles. Yeah. Here's one of our songs.
Exactly, he's calling off.
He was a Beatle! Yeah. Don't talk about Clapton. He's talking about Clapton. Yeah. And then he's playing My Valentine.
Oh, dear.
You are my beautiful Valentine. I want to make love to you. Ooh, 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 dooby-doo. And then is that the song where in the background there's a really pretentious video, right?
Yeah.
Two people, black and white, they're signing the song.
Oh.
And one of them was Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp and Natalie Portman. Is that her name?
Wow.
And you could just see
Natalie Portillo
the lights on the stage. You could see the people going, you know what, now's the time for a toilet break.
Yeah, everyone was going for a wee-wee.
Did he do the frog chorus?
No!
Somebody shouting in front of us, do the frog chorus, Paul! Sadly, he couldn't hear.
He didn't do,
Good Night Tonight?
He didn't do Good Night Tonight. He didn't do Silly Love Songs. He didn't do,
He did quite a few silly love songs, actually.
He did, the new ones. He didn't do, it's in Give My Regards to Broad Street. We played the dance version of it on Monday.
Oh, I know. No more lonely.
No more lonely nights. Oh, flipping it.
Gosh.
That's why
Maybe
I didn't
that's
do
why.
it.
Yeah.
It's too high. His voice was good though, wasn't it?
For a 72-year-old man, okay, his voice sounded A, fantastic, but B, the energy to go on stage for nearly 3 hours.
And
wow.
I liked his shirt as well.
Yeah, he was looking
What
good.
was his shirt like?
White, collarless.
And tight.
Of course it was.
Yeah,
colorless.
beautiful.
Well,
Heather Mills, one of the great lines from Heather Mills when it was getting nasty in the papers, she was quoted as saying, I don't want to be married to an old man that's got bigger boobs than me.
Youch. He's never said anything about her, though, has he?
No, but anyway, listen, the Luton M1 sign...
It's awful.
It's awful. We've tweeted it at Iain Lee if you want to see it. You've taken this to the streets.
Yeah, one of the easiest Voxes ever as well.
Really?
Everyone was moaning about this. Everyone absolutely hates it. Here's what the streets had to say.
Nah, no good. Need a proper sign. I mean, if you're driving, that'll put you off, won't it? Because if you're driving and looking at that, it'll distract you.
What, because it's so bad?
Yeah.
Madam, your first impressions of that sign?
Cheap.
Okay, and what are your friends saying to you about it?
The same.
Just a waste of money.
Aliash, let's get the Polish perspective. Currently living in Luton, you've seen the sign, you've driven past the sign. What do you think about that?
It's not really good looking. I would say it's awful. Little more design, a little more perspective to it.
Can you just say the word awful for me again?
Awful.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
What do you think about that Welcome to Luton sign?
Welcome to Luton.
Come on, how bad is that?
I don't really know what to say to you, mate.
Lost for words, that's fair enough. Thanks for your time.
You're welcome, sir.
Ben, you think there's nothing wrong with this sign?
No.
You think that does you justice? And your friends and your family?
I don't think it's anything to do there. It's just to welcome you to Luton, so people know where they are.
But look at the history, look at the surroundings, look at the vibe here, and we've got that.
No, I don't see nothing wrong with it personally.
Maybe you should put a board, something bigger. That's on the way it is on the ground. It should have been better than that, not like that.
You would like to see an erection up there?
Yeah, like maybe built it in a way like stones or something, which is glittery or something.
So it's more clear?
Yeah.
As a Lusonian, does that do your town justice?
No, afraid not. Not good enough.
What do you think about that sign?
Well, a load of rubbish.
Is it really that bad?
Yes.
I'll let you go. Madam, you're a proud Lusonian. You love this town. That's the sign as people enter.
That's my council tax payment for nothing.
Is it that bad?
Yes.
So what should be there instead?
Something a little bit better than that. Something that Luton can be proud of.
Such as?
With the hatters.
Oh, so a big hat?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'd love to see a giant hat. I just want to see a giant hat. Are we being harsh? I thought perhaps... I've been thinking about talking about this for ages and how we should tread carefully because we don't want to upset Luton Borough Council again. But it is awful. And hearing those voices has made me confident in my opinion. It's awful. Or have I got it completely wrong? 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There are serious delays on the trains this morning on Chiltern Railway between Banbury and Marylebone, so that's affecting trains from High Wycombe and Princes Risborough and Gerrards Cross. On the M25 clockwise, there's a lane closed just before junction 25 for Enfield after an accident involving a lorry and a car, which is causing queues from junction 24 for Potters Bar. And it's busy on the M40 northbound at the Denham roundabout towards the M25. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties
Go on,
Radio.
Sammy, clear off. Go on, get out. Go on, off.
Okay.
Off. I know your parents and I'll tell them, all right?
It's not really good looking. I would say it's awful.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8 o'clock. I'm Barry Caffrey. The headlines: Hertfordshire woman angry over family grave works. Chiltern services cancelled in Buckinghamshire. And temporary arrivals hall opens at Luton Airport to allow redevelopment.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A woman from Hertfordshire says she is angry after finding a tomb built over her great-grandfather's grave. Denise Hutchins' ancestors were buried in a common grave at Hoddesdon Cemetery. Broxbourne Borough Council says as it's a common grave, it means it's owned by the council, and the family therefore have no exclusive right to it. Denise says it's upsetting.
This grave was only actually ever dug for 3 bodies, and I dare say that at the time this was the norm. But I think what upset me most was that the cemetery manager was fully aware of why we had actually marked that grave. But the council have got carte blanche. They've got the law on their side, and, you know, hey-ho.
Chiltern Railways are not running services through Buckinghamshire this morning because of signalling problems. All services between Banbury and London Marylebone and Aylesbury and Marylebone have been cancelled. Chiltern Railways tickets will be valid on Virgin trains, First Great Western, London Midland and London Underground, whilst engineers try and fix the problem. 6 people linked to football's world governing body FIFA have been arrested on corruption charges in dawn raids at a hotel in Zurich. They include the FIFA Vice President Jeffrey Webb. The Swiss authorities say the individuals were detained at the request of American investigators. The US is seeking their extradition. Matt Apuzzo, one of the New York Times journalists who broke the story, explained more about what those who've been arrested are alleged to have done.
Wire fraud and racketeering, you know, just a host of corruption charges that really goes back decades and basically accuses FIFA members of just corruption at kind of all levels in how they do their marketing, how they select sites for the World Cup. And we know that several senior members of FIFA, including members of the very powerful executive committee, are being charged here.
Passengers arriving at Luton Airport today will use a new temporary arrivals hall. It's been opened to allow the redevelopment of the main terminal. The airport is investing £100 million to increase passenger capacity over the next decade from 12 to 18 million a year. The owners of a set of misspelt advertising flags in Houghton Regis say they're aware of the issue and it is being dealt with. Pictures of the Bedford Square banner flags, which have the letter A ahead of the letter U in the word square, have gone viral on social media. The BBC understands Watford are close to replacing Slavisa Jokanovic with Getafe and former Atletico Madrid manager Quique Sanchez Flores. Jokanovic's contract expires at the end of next month and talks have broken down over his contract demands. Watford have now approached Flores, who is set to become the Hornets' 5th manager in a year. And the weather forecast for Beds, Hearts and Bucks. A mainly cloudy, dry day ahead today with some sunny spells and highs of 18 degrees Celsius. That's 64 in Fahrenheit. BBC Three Counties Radio News. I'll be back with headlines and a full sports bulletin at 8:30.
Strange tweet. Have you seen that from at Drawn Your Tweet? It's marvellous. They've drawn a tweet I did, and I've never heard of at Drawn Your Tweet. You can get as much publicity from me as you want, boss. Never heard of them. They follow nobody. They have 30,000 followers. That's brilliant. Thank you for that. I love that. Morning, Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Talking bad signs today. Bedford Square. Square is spelt incorrectly on Six Flags. And welcome to Luton. The sign is just, it's embarrassing, isn't it? Or am I being a little bit harsh? Nobody has had a good thing to say about it. Maybe I've got it wrong. 81333, start your text 3CR. Or give us a call. 08459 455 555.
Across Beds, Hearts and Bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
You see that tweet?
I'm just trying to find it now. My computer's crashed, so I will...
Does that mean no texts?
That means you're gonna... I can't. Listen.
Yeah, you're clicking the mouse, mate.
I'm clicking, nothing's happening.
Okay. Right, so what are you saying? Have we got texts or not?
I'm saying
confused.
talk to Tim and I'll give you some text afterwards.
Does that mean you've got texts or not?
Yes, I probably have, but I can't see them.
Well, can I have them now?
No, because I can't see them.
Let me just get this straight. Are we doing texts now or not?
Can you speak to Tim instead?
OK.
Text 81333.
Start your message with 3CR.
Texts will be charged at the standard network rate.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Turn it off and on again, isn't it? There's a row brewing in Broxbourne after a woman found her loved one's graves had been turned into a building site. Denise Hutchin, who we spoke to earlier on, what a great speaker, says the first she knew of plans for a new mausoleum was when she visited the town cemetery and found the work in progress. The plot in question is communal, so Denise doesn't own it, but she says the fact the council allowed her to put up a cross to mark the grave means they owed her a phone call rather than a nasty surprise. Well, I'm joined now by Tim Morris from the Institute of Cemetery and Crematorium Management. Good morning, Tim.
Morning.
Tim, I'd not heard the phrase common grave before. Explain exactly what that means.
Yes, a common, sometimes called public grave, are those graves where the exclusive right to burial isn't purchased by the family. And I understand that the burials of this lady's grandparents took place in the 20s.
Yeah, 1913 and 1920, yeah.
Yeah, during the sort of the Depression era when a lot of people were short of money and couldn't afford to buy the exclusive right. So the council provided public graves for those on lesser means.
So this would... It's a horrible phrase, isn't it? A pauper's funeral. But this is if you had a pauper's funeral, this is where you could possibly end up.
Well, yeah, we don't like the word pauper, but yeah, that's correct. People with no means, then the local authority would look after them by providing a burial space.
Are there lots of them around? Are common graves common?
It tended to diminish after the war when people became more self-sufficient. But we are seeing they're making a comeback now with all the austerity.
Gosh. And what is there? So obviously they're owned by the council. Is there a time limit? I mean, supposing these relatives were buried almost 100 years ago, does that kind of give the council more rights? Or if someone was buried there 10 years ago, would they still be able to do what they wanted?
With an unpurchased grave, yes. The only thing that the authority can't do is disturb those previously buried remains.
Okay. So the great grandparents, they'll still be buried underneath the mausoleum. Is that right?
Yes. Their grave space will still be marked on a statutory plan, and the records of the burials of those people will continue to be maintained in the statutory register. So the location, albeit that if a mausoleum's being built, the location can still be positively identified.
I remember about 15, 20 years ago, us being told that that there wasn't enough grave space for us. There was no more room, and that people were being discouraged from being buried, and being cremated was the way forward. Is that still the case?
Well, you can't change a person's religious or personal beliefs, and you can't force cremation on someone who doesn't want it.
Right.
But 25% of deaths now result in burial. And we are at a national crisis with regard to the shortage of burial space.
And how difficult is it for cemetery managers to kind of balance the emotive feelings of relatives against, the practical needs for space? It's got to be a tough gig.
Well, it is. It's becoming even more difficult. What we need to remember is that the majority of local authority cemeteries actually produce a deficit. In other words, the cemetery service is subsidised by the council, so they're certainly not making money out of their service. The problem is sustainability. When a cemetery becomes full, the authority either ceases to provide the service, which it can, and not many local authorities want to do that. They want to look after bereaved people in their area, or they build a new cemetery. Maintenance costs rise because there's another cemetery to maintain on the same income, so the deficit gets bigger.
Yeah.
So
isn't it a shame that that's
available space is the answer?
Isn't it a shame that the finances have to be a factor in something like this?
Well, unfortunately, they're a factor in everything.
Yeah.
Can I offer some potential solutions?
Please do, Tim. Yes.
Lady? Yeah. Well, firstly, if it's not too late to change the location of the mausoleum, the two ladies could buy the exclusive right of burial to their grandparents' grave.
Okay.
That's one possibility. If it's too late and the exclusive right's been sold to the family that is constructing the mausoleum, then perhaps the council could consider planting a memorial tree in an appropriate location nearby and allowing the two ladies to have a commemorative plaque.
I was going to say, because I think that building work has actually started,
Right.
so it's probably too late for that. But yeah, I was going to ask, what in cases like this, do people ever get the chance to put up plaques with the names and the dates of those that are buried there?
Yes, it can be done. The law allows this. It specifically says that a memorial can be erected other than on a grave space. And this is quite common in cemeteries: memorial benches, memorial trees.
Tim, can I ask, how did you get into to working in cemetery and crematorium management? It's not. I wouldn't have thought there are very many young boys that say, "Oh, when I grow up, I want to be ... How did you end up there?
Like most people in this profession, by accident.
Right. You just stumbled across it one day, did you?
Well, yeah, I came in through horticulture, local authority parks department.
I see.
Looking after the cemetery grounds.
Yeah.
And I went on from there.
Well, listen, you keep up the good work, and it's one of those things that we don't often think about until a problem like this arises. I really appreciate your time this morning, Tim. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Tim Morris, from the Institute of Cemetery and Crematorium Management. What nice people we've spoken to about that story, haven't we? What nice people that we've spoken to.
Yeah.
Is this a really dumb idea? And I think this was on a Chris Morris programme years ago, so I'm not going to claim credit for it, but burying people standing up. More room. You got more space. You bury people. Obviously, they're still in coffins.
Yeah.
But you bury them vertical as opposed to on the horizontal.
Little square on top with your name on.
Yeah.
Job done.
Why is that? Is that not practical?
People all want different things, though, don't they?
What do you mean?
Well, if you go to any graveyard, you see some people have got different tastes from others. Some people have it.
Some people have
don't.
got terrible taste. Yeah. Oh, blimey.
So some people want a great big elaborate kind of thing that you would be befitting of an ancient Egyptian poet.
Can I stop you for 1 second?
Others like it plain.
Dangerous times. Kelly's doing her thinking face.
Oh no.
I know. Let's go into Kelly's head for a moment. Kelly, what's happening in your head?
If you do bury them standing up, are they still 6 feet under? Is there enough?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Why not? Yeah. 6 feet under. Yeah. So you'd have to have like the things that they drill for oil with. I'm not being flippant. This is genuine. Trying to, the big drills. That can...
People won't like the idea, though. The same reason why they want to dress their.
Why?
I've got it. Because they wouldn't be resting. You're laid to rest.
People won't like the idea.
Well, no. You could maybe have a little stool you could perch on. Now I'm being flippant.
Yeah.
Well,
it's that, isn't it? Because don't forget, the graves aren't really for the person who's in them. The graves are for the loved ones.
Oh, now she tells me. Danish?
Yeah, I'm full.
I could murder a Danish. What are those Danish with the yellow stuff in?
Oh, the custard.
Yo!
Yeah, they're good, aren't they?
They're good, aren't they? They are good. They are good. Well, that's that sorted. Texas!
Yes.
Get in there!
There's one here from Dan.
Hello, Dan.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to read it out.
Okay.
And then we can all have some thinking time.
Well, if you're not going to say anything, how are we going to hear it?
No, I'll read it out, and then I'm not going to make any comments.
Okay, go on, do it.
Because he's assuming we're going to make a comment. I think he says enough.
Okay.
Welcome to Luton sign. Good. People in Luton are the problem. It will take more than a sign to improve the town's image. This is heavily edited because what I want to say will obviously be deemed racist. From Dan.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M25 clockwise, there's a lane blocked just before junction 25 for Enfield because of an accident involving a car and a lorry, and that's causing delays all the way from junction 24 for Potters Bar. It's also slow anti-clockwise in the opposite direction with people slowing down to look. On the M14 northbound, it's busy at the Denham roundabout towards the M25, and southbound on the M1 at Dunstable, it's looking slow from junction 11 for the A505 and towards Dunstable Road, and it's also looking really busy actually on Dunstable Road westbound around the M1 junction 11 as well. In Kings Langley, approaching the M25 from the A41 southbound, that's looking very busy, and Chiltern Railway still have major delays between Banbury and Marylebone through High Wycombe and Princes Risborough. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. Talking about bad spelling and signs, Gemma has just tweeted, this was a safety sign at Gulliver's Land. All children must be accompanied by a responsible adult. I mean, come on, guys. We didn't send my boy to a nursery once because you walked in, it was a really nice nursery, and there was all artwork on the wall. They're like kids, right? So it's pictures of like sultanas and things stuck on there. And the heading, written by a teacher, said some of the children used currants to make pictures. They'd spelled currants wrong. They'd spelled currants wrong. Right, we're out of it. This is in swanky North London.
I don't blame you.
What?
Standards.
Exact standards. Standards, Jonathan.
Quite right, too.
Thank you. I knew you'd agree. Right, let's have some of this and we'll crack on and find out what's happening on your show. 8:16. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A woman from Hertfordshire says she's appalled after finding a tomb built over her great-grandparents' grave in Hoddesdon. And 6 people linked to football's world governing body, FIFA, have been arrested on corruption charges in dawn raids at a hotel in Zurich.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There we go. I want to show you something. This is my rabbit stick.
Oh, no, don't do that.
This is the rabbit stick.
Do that one over there and let me put my hand over my water.
Okay. This is just a normal chair in the studios. They're all the same in there.
Yeah. Oh my God. Shall I video that and then I can share that with everyone?
Yeah,
they can
please,
see that.
that is disgusting.
That is
We can
absolutely
sue the BBC.
disgusting.
We're probably going to get some disease.
I hope that chair's not coming with us to the new building. It probably
we
will.
spent so much money on the building and the technicals that we have to bring our own chairs.
You weren't wrong about the printers. We're not getting new printers. All the equipment's coming.
They're taking those printers, which is ridiculous. They don't work. You ready?
Right, hang on a minute, hang on. Let me just film a bit of you first so we can see your pretty face. Okay, go.
What I'm doing, dear listener, is I'm battering the chairs that we use, and the filth that's coming off is outrageous.
Disgusting. All right, I'll put that on
And
later.
they're all the same next door. I went and did it next door. That's horrible. You do it in your studio.
I don't want to. I have no idea I'm sitting on that.
Listen, I'm thinking of starting up a union and going on strike. Are you with me or agin me? I could probably get Coffer in. He's a right old lefty. Roberto might need to get him drunk and kidnap him. Come on, we need a big name. We need the name of the station to be on side. What? You can be our spokesperson, yeah? What? You're going to go on strike with us? Starting at 9 o'clock this morning? Beautiful. Beautiful. But we demand presenters' rights. Yeah, we get paid a shed load of money for not much work. Of course we do. But we demand clean chairs and better production teams working on our shows. And from 9 o'clock this morning, BBC Three Counties Radio is shutting down. We're going on strike. We're standing outside. I can't. I've got a gig on BBC London. But I am with you. I will honk my horn as I drive past you. I'll do a little bib as I drive past.
So hang on a minute. I'm on strike on my own at 9 o'clock.
Nick Coffer and
they don't turn up till later. It'll just be me.
Well, hopefully it'll be sorted out by the time they get in.
Mind you, I quite like to do my show from outside in the sunshine.
It's nice weather today, isn't it?
Yes.
It'll be good.
Is that still a strike? If I did my show from a deck chair in the car park?
You've not crossed the picket line, so you've got me on a technicality, yes. Yes, it could be.
Well, I wouldn't be adverse to that.
You love doing the show outside, don't you? I hate OBs.
No, I hate OBs as well, but a bit of sunshine I like.
Oh, fine, okay, right. What's on your show? What would be on your show this morning if you weren't going on strike,
wasn't
comrade?
on strike.
Yes.
Coming up at 9 o'clock this morning on the Big Phone In, are you pleased the government will spend more money on free childcare? Parliament opens today, and with their Queen's speech, the Conservatives are expected to promise an increase in the amount of free childcare available to parents. Currently, parents with 3 and 4-year-olds get 15 hours per week, but we expect that to be increased to 30 hours from next year. Well, from 9 this morning, I want to hear your views on this. Of course, it's going to be paid for with taxpayers' money, but are you pleased the government will spend more money on free childcare? Is that a really good use of tax money? From 9 this morning, your reaction on 08459 455 555.
Shake up your cooking with BBC Dish Up.
My top tip for cooking is to keep it simple.
Be prepared. Have all your ingredients ready so that you don't forget to add anything.
Always read the recipe, twice at least.
Quick and simple ways to great food.
My quick and easy dish is macaroni cheese.
My signature dish is fajitas, and they're really simple to make. Just keep your eye on everything so it doesn't burn.
I've got a great Cheats Pizza recipe, and you can find it on the Dish Up website.
For an easier way to cook, just go to bbc.co.uk/dishup.
Sorry? What was happening? What was happening there?
It's not really good looking. I would say it's awful.
All right, fella, I'll put it away then, shall I? 08459 455 555. Spelling, signs, presentation, all of these things are kind of being woven together. We've spoken just that Vox about the Luton sign was incredible.
It was, and do you know what? My favourite Polish perspective of all time as well. Wasn't he great?
It's not often you get everybody. Oh, by the way,
good morning, sir.
It's not often you get everybody saying the same thing and being so so angry.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised. As I say, I thought I would go out and maybe people hadn't really noticed it, didn't really have much to say. Every single person I spoke to, apart from Ben, who thought, well, it's just a sign, it's okay, were very angry because they thought, hang on a minute, you know, look what Luton's got to offer. But also, the whole reason they're changing the M1 up there is because of expansion at the airport. Again, something to be proud of. And here we have this really weak and tacky welcome to Luton
And
sign.
I've been sitting on this sign theory of mine for about a week thinking, well, should I do it? Is anyone going to be interested? Is it just me being... Because I know I can be a little bit dour and miserable. Catherine.
A little bit.
Thank you. But no, I'm glad I spoke up.
I was just thinking you got this one bang on the money. I think, with any town, a lot of people coming into Luton who, of course, will be using the airport that have never been to the town before. If you had, for argument's sake, a giant hat there, a giant straw boater, people may look and think, why is that there? They would ask the question, find out the history of Luton. Exactly.
History. Now, so that's one sign. The other sign, Bedford Square, the Bedford Square shopping precinct in Houghton Regis. They've got these lovely they're blue, aren't they?
No, they're green.
Are they green? Oh, what was the, maybe I looked at it wrong. Anyway, so these big, massive flags that say Bedford Square. But they don't say Bedford Square. They've spelt square wrong. They've got the A and the U the wrong way round.
Oh, these massive flags are opposite me right now. I'm live in Houghton Regis. 6 of them, giant flags. So square, even I can spell square. They've spelt them S-Q-A-U-R-E.
Kelly had a little bit of trouble earlier on. She thought square was spelt with a C. But it's great to have you. It's great to have you back, Kels.
No.
You did, mate.
No.
It happened, and it's in this week's podcast.
It was such an accident. I don't know how to spell square.
I asked you to spell square. You went S-C. Catherine, can you get that audio of Kelly saying that, please?
I don't know where
Kelly's clipped it. We asked her to, didn't we?
Yeah, Kelly, where's the clip that I asked you to get of that?
Deleted. It's with the littlest hobo.
Okay, if you could find that for me, Catherine, me asking her and her giving us the answer, please. That would be great. Yes. It's great to have you back, by the way. I had no one to bully. You've taken this to the streets, Just, of course.
I have.
Expect nothing less from you.
Absolutely. Now, a lot of people on our Facebook page and Twitter as well, they've seen these flags and they're saying this is utterly ridiculous, it's embarrassing. But the bigger question for me was, would anybody in Houghton Regis notice that square wasn't spelt correctly?
Yeah.
So what I did for 25 minutes, I spoke to the people here in Bedford Square and I asked them a very simple question. I asked them to spell the word square. Here's what happened. Can you spell square for me?
Oh, come off it. Square. S-Q-U-R-E, innit?
Daniel, how do you spell square?
It's square. S-Q-R-E. Square.
OK, great vibe, poor spelling. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
How are you, madam?
Square. S-Q-U-R-E. Oh, no, I can't remember. I don't know, I can't remember. Square, how do you spell square? S-Q-A-U-R-E. I think.
Anything about religion? No way.
No, not about religion. How do you spell square?
It's S-Q-U-I-R-E.
Afternoon, ladies. Doing some dog research. Very simply, can you spell the word square for me?
S-Q-A-U-R-E.
I've got Justin. There's another 55 seconds of this to go. This is breaking. Is this real?
This is real. I promise you, this is real.
This is the most depressing Vox you've ever done.
But
this
you
is
said to me
breaking my
yesterday.
heart.
You said to me yesterday.
These
you
idiots.
won't find anybody who can't.
I did.
Yeah. Well,
I did.
Should we continue?
Yes, please.
Okay. What do you think, madam? How do you spell square?
Fair, couldn't we?
The question is, madam, it's quite a big question. Okay. How do you spell the word square?
S-Q-U-R-E.
Ask you a very quick question. How do you spell the word square?
Don't know.
I'm a street dog from the radio.
Yeah.
How do you spell the word square?
Square? S-Q-U-A-R-E. What?
I'm J-Dog.
Oh, nice to meet you.
And yourself. How do you spell the word square?
S-U... Oh, hang on. That ain't spelt right up there anyway.
But that's not spelt right. No. Yeah, that's correct. So how do you spell it?
S-U-A-R... I don't know.
I love the way you said that's not spelt right, but you couldn't get it yourself.
Wow.
There you go, guys.
That is. Do you know what? I'm going to go home. I'm going to draw the curtains, and I'm going to start drinking again. What's the point?
Can I just interrupt there for a second?
Yes, sir.
I could have given you a lot more.
Can I also highlight something? It's not just the youths, is it? These are people who've managed to live all their lives.
Oh, a real mix of people who were in their teens, right the way up to people in their 80s. And that was what? That was 20 minutes. That was all that was. Me yesterday, 20 minutes asking people in Bedford Square, how do you spell square?
Do you know what, Justin, actually? Here's the one good thing to come from that, Kelly doesn't feel so much of a numpty.
She does.
There are people out there who are as dumb as Kells.
I mean, we could try another word in
No,
Houghton
but I know
Regis.
how to spell square.
It's great to have you back, mate. Oh, yeah, she knows how to spell square, Justin. We'll have the evidence of that in a sec. Where have you put it, Kath?
Right in the bottom of your run order.
All right, let's have a little. Let's see if Kelly really does know how to spell square. This is from earlier on in the show. Kelly, spell square!
SCU. What? Oh my god!
I tell you what's brilliant is Catherine's what? Kelly, spell square!
SCU. What? Oh my god!
That's going to be my new ringtone.
The thing is, boss, you know, these 6 new flags, which are massive, look out for them if you're driving through Houghton Regis today.
Yeah.
A lot of people saying on Facebook, do you know what a waste of money. But I think there's the evidence. It's not a waste of money because people can't spell the word anyway.
Maybe the people that spell it SQUARE are the ones that have been spelling it wrong this whole time.
The squares.
Justin, excellent stuff, mate. Thank you very much.
You.
Honestly, I mean, that is the most depressing piece I've ever heard him do.
Really?
Oh,
come on.
On air. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number. We'll take your calls about graves, about signs, about dead rabbits, all kinds of things after this.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's really busy on the M25 clockwise from junction 24 for Potters Bar to 25 for Enfield because of an accident that has happened there between a lorry and a car. Also, anti-clockwise people slowing down to have a look. On the M40, it's slow from the Denham roundabout towards the M25, but queues are actually stretching back from the Swakeleys roundabout. And on the M1, it's slow southbound from junction 11 for Dunstable Road around that stretch. It's also easing off on the A505 Dunstable Road itself, though. In Kings Langley on the A41, that's busy southbound towards the M25 junction 20, and on the trains there are still major delays for Chiltern Railway services between Banbury and Marylebone through High Wycombe, Princes Risborough and Aylesbury Vale Parkway. There are all some of them. A lot of the trains through that stretch are cancelled, so check with the departure boards there. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8:30 with the headlines. I'm Barry Caffrey. A woman from Hertfordshire says she is angry after finding a tomb built over her great-grandfather's grave. Denise Hutchins' ancestors were buried in a common grave at Hoddesdon Cemetery. Broxbourne Borough Council says as it's a common grave, it means it's owned by the council and the family have no exclusive right to it. Chiltern Railways are not running services through Buckinghamshire this morning because of signalling problems. All services between Banbury and Marylebone and Aylesbury and Marylebone have been cancelled. A new temporary arrivals hall is in use at Luton Airport from today. It's opened to allow a £100 million redevelopment of the main terminal. The owners of a set of misspelt advertising flags in Houghton Regis say they're being dealt with. Pictures of the Bedford Square banner flags have the letter A ahead of the letter U in the word square. And the weather forecast, a mainly cloudy, dry day ahead, though there will be some sunny spells and highs of 18 Celsius, 64 in Fahrenheit.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The BBC understands Watford are close to replacing Slavisa Jokanovic with Getafe and former Atletico Madrid manager Quique Sanchez Flores. Jokanovic's contract expires at the end of next month and talks have broken down over his contract demands. Watford have now approached Flores, who is set to become the Hornets' 5th manager in a year. A senior FIFA source has confirmed to the BBC that a number of FIFA officials have been arrested in a dawn raid at their hotel in Zurich. It's thought the suspects are facing extradition to the US on corruption charges. Reports late last year said that a former FIFA official, Chuck Blazer, was a cooperating witness for an investigation into corruption in the governing body. However, our sports news correspondent Richard Conway says it's not clear if today's events are linked to that.
We know from an internal report that Mr. Blazer, along with Jack Warner, who's also been named as someone who's of interest to the authorities this morning, took around $88 million from CONCACAF over the 20 years. Whether it's related to that, whether it's related to other matters, we just don't know. We're expecting there'd be a press conference held later today, about 3:30 UK time, we understand, in New York, where we may find out more information about what has happened.
In tennis, Serena Williams is through to the second round of the French Open in Paris. The two-time champion beat the Czech qualifier Andrea Hlivakova 6-2, 6-3, but admits she's still struggling with an elbow injury.
It's not 100%, but I was able to serve okay. I didn't serve as many aces as I normally do, but I think the good thing, it gets better every day. Hopefully, if I can win another round, it'll be better.
BBC Three Counties Radio News and Sport. I'm back with a full bulletin at 9.
There once was a wealthy man who had a wonderful idea to bring children from all places with all kinds of faces together into a sailing ship. There were 40 boys and girls. They would sail their ship around the globe, so they called it the United World. The ship was just 3 weeks from shore when a hurricane bore it down. The waves were big as mountains. They found they would surely drown. They jumped into the lifeboats, rowed away from the wreck. They didn't count them, they hadn't time. 5 children were left behind. Children fought the storm all night and finally fell asleep. They didn't realize the ship had been blown across a reef into the Lost Islands. What? Hiding in the bushes was a watchful pair of eyes, and living in the valley were people lost in time, ruled over by a tyrant whose face was in a mask. Children must defeat him so they can escape at last from the Lost Islands. The Lost Islands.
Front page of The Sun. Disappointed that the Queen's speech will not feature the Tories' plans that are in the manifesto to get rid of the human rights.
Who's disappointed? The Sun?
The Sun.
Right.
And as someone has pointed out on Twitter and reminded us, the Sun must have forgotten its own journalists relying on the Human Rights Act in court. Easy mistake to make, I suppose. They did, didn't they?
Yeah.
They did. Our human rights are being breached with The Sun. I can't retweet that because I'm being followed by the editor of The Sun.
Yeah.
And I don't want to give them any reason to look into my closet. The door is locked and no one's going in there. And I'm not coming out.
If you rattle it, you hear bones.
There we go. Any texters?
Yes.
Go on then.
Lisa in Leighton Buzzard. Oh, this is unfair, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Yeah.
Wow, the people of Houghton Regis are dumb.
Come
Spelled
on.
correctly in capital letters.
Come on, guys. That's unfair. So what? They couldn't spell square. Come on.
Some of the best people can't spell square.
Some of them. Well.
No, it was a mistake. I know how to spell it.
Do you admit that you didn't know how to spell the word square?
No, I know how to spell square.
Do you really? Because the evidence...
I know. A C appeared. I don't know where it came from.
Yeah, the C appeared...
OK.
Kelly, spell square!
S-C-U... What? Oh, my God! Thanks. Thank you very much.
No, Kelly, thank you.
Good to have you back.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Tony writes, there is nothing wrong with the new...
Who's Tony writes? Who is Tony Wrights? Am I supposed to know this guy? This Tony Wrights?
Tony. That Tony.
All right, Tony.
Ian, there's nothing wrong with the new Welcome to Luton sign. We have to remember who we are. We're an industrial town with an airport. We are Grey Town, a dirty old town, brackets the Pogues. We are not a royal town, a pretty town. Luton is a hard town. You can't polish a whatnot. You can roll it in glitter. And that would be the impression given if we had a pretty Welcome to Luton sign. I'm no scare. Written wrong. I love Luton, says Tony.
Well, obviously, it doesn't sound like he loves Luton.
Well, he knows his place.
Listen, we know what Luton is, but there's no danger in reaching for the stars. If you reach for the stars, hang on. If you reach for the moon, you might just touch a star. That you can write that down. Pretend a Chinaman said that because that is beautiful.
I think it has been written down.
A Chinaman from the 1800s. You can. Kelly, you heard that famous quote from a Chinaman.
In the 1800s?
Yeah, there's no danger in reaching.
Hello.
Hello, I'm talking to you.
Stay on the line.
I'm talking to her.
Gosh, that's rude, isn't it?
Sorry.
Fadari. What's that supposed to say on my screen?
No, Fader. F-A.
Kelly.
E.
Kelly. A famous quote from an old dead Chinaman. There's no danger in reaching for the moon. You might just touch a star. A star's me, this guy.
But you don't like touching.
Wendy's on the line. Good morning, Wendy.
Good morning.
Wendy, what have you got for us?
Well, if you've been talking about misspelling,
Yes, I have. What a naughty girl she was.
as you go past the Roebuck Inn at Stevenage on the B197, one of the spellings of restaurant is correct and the other is incorrect.
Oh, flippin' heck.
Seriously, every time I go past, I look at it, hoping they changed it.
Someone has sent me a sign. This isn't a misspelling. This is very naughty. But there's a sign for Watford, and someone's put a T in front of it.
Oh.
yeah, I know exactly. Isn't that naughty?
Yes.
I know it's such a small. Not the Watford one, but the restaurant. It's such a small thing, but it's really important. I think it's important to spell words correctly, particularly on signs.
Yes, definitely. And when you first look at it, or when I first looked at it, I thought that doesn't look right. And then when you see the other one is spelt correctly and you realise, that you were right all along.
Wendy, thank you for highlighting that. It's standards. It's called standards, and I've got some.
Low.
Very, very, very low, yes, but at least I've got some. Unlike Bedford Squire.
That reminds me of amended signs. You know, the gay village in Manchester is called Canal Street.
Oh, no.
They did. They took
well, they're asking for that, aren't they? Some of them
took
are.
the C off.
08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Hey, do you think
more Texas?
Well, I was going to read this story about. Let me do this first because do you think the old people will have fallen back to sleep by now?
Some.
I'm terrified of them. Have you seen the story in the Sun? There's me knocking the old people, not literally. Well, that one time was an accident, but I say accident. The judge believed me. That's all that matters. We've got to be careful about what we say about the elderly.
Right.
Over 60s yob shock. Now, this is only in one county, OK, but I just would imagine this is nationwide.
Can we guess the county? Can we have a bit of fun with it?
We'll have no fun on this show.
I'm going to say Warwickshire.
You don't know what the story is yet.
Warwickshire?
Yeah.
I was thinking that. Jinx.
All right, Uri Gellers. Your benders.
Of spoons.
Yeah, he's a massive bender, isn't he? Of spoons.
Well, so he says.
I've seen him bend a spoon. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant trick.
Is it a lifetime's career?
Well, he's I don't know if he's been to Korea. The number of over 60s arrested for assault in one county has soared by almost 15%, figures revealed. More than 100 were held for attacks in Nottinghamshire in 2014, including 3 accused of assaulting a cop. This is old people. People arrested for that heist. Old people. Got to be very careful about the people that drive mobility scooters and mow down young children. Old people.
But they've probably spent their lifetime being good and thought, you know what, I'm just going to be a bit naughty now.
Police, well, this is very naughty. Police also stopped 59 for drink driving, while 14 over 60s were nicked for sexual touching.
Oh.
In total, 446 people in the age group were arrested last year. David Jones, secretary of Nottingham Pensioners Age Group, said...
He didn't say that.
There is no excuse. I am stunned by these figures. 3:15. Because he can't hear.
Oh, I see.
I'm 96.
Well done.
I'm going to be a naughty old person.
Whoa, you're going the right way.
Yeah, you're going to go for the sexual touching. Not now!
The drink driving thing, though, is a thing with older people.
That's a cultural thing.
Because they didn't have the same sort of laws that we had.
They didn't have any laws. They were feral.
Feral.
The old people are a danger. You know my views on old people driving? Well, I just think... Here's the thing, right? Because there's always young people. Young people. Let's celebrate the youth. Let's put a curfew on the elderly. Let's say, if you're 65 and over, you've got to be in by 8:30. Put your slippers on, watch the One Show, and take it nice and easy. And this is why the young people are so aggressive out there, because they're scared of the old people. It's learnt behaviour.
Do you know who's worse? Elderly widows. Oh. I'm saying it. Do you know why? I have experience. Do you know what?
You're an elderly widow?
I spent my 21st birthday with the Wigan sector of the Ladies' Circle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I went with my gran.
Yeah.
I've never seen more gin drunk or heard bluer jokes. They were filth bombs.
Yep, totally. It's an outrageous place.
They're off the leash, you see. They're off the leash.
I would love to take a 70-year-old clubbing with me.
So if you're 70 and up for fun times, Kelly Betts.
Well, we took a 90-year-old to see a soft porn film.
Very soft.
Well, he's old. He's 90 years old. It was the weirdest night. Then we took Dennis from Dunstable to see 50 Shades of Grey, and it was a very... You're right, Catherine. It was a very soft... Well, no, I don't think it was that soft. It was... Oh, come...
Are we hardened? Is that what it is?
It was boring.
I'm going to turn your microphones off while you two just have a think. It was boring.
It was boring.
Kelly. But old people, they're trouble. Give us a text.
Here we go. 100 million for the arrivals hall at Luton Airport. 100 million!
Well, yeah, what? All coming over here from Poland?
No.
Oh, pounds, you
Yes.
mean? I think
you
you
used to be able to buy an entire airport from that, says Simon in Stevenage, who's obviously bought airports in his time.
All right, Simon. Tough guy.
People buried upright, says Adam from Hemel.
Yes.
They won't stay that way forever. However, in Ireland, plots go downwards, not side by side. 3 plots in the space of 1. Not just in Ireland, it happens here too.
Kath doesn't think you can have a poignant land, emotive land, but does think you can have a gay street. Double standards.
No, the gay village.
Yeah, double...
I
Oh,
think that's
whole
what it's
village. Flipping heck.
Who said that?
I'm the only straight in the village.
Here's a
I said, protesting my innocence a bit too much. I didn't leave till 4 a.m.
They didn't just take the C off, they took the S from street as well.
Have a guess who sent that tweet. 08459 455 555 is the...
Thank you, Daniel.
That is genius.
telephone number if you want to give us a call. There's always one... There's lots of these stories recently. I like these. Kids... Well, I don't like this... I'm about to say kids' tears at Fun Day Flop. I don't like that, but I do like these stories where people pay a lot of money to go and see a themed day or a themed weekend.
If it's not a Disneyland, you know it's not going to be as good.
Hundreds of children were left in tears when a £19 superhero fun day with Frozen characters turned out to be a rip-off. Families queued up to 2.5 hours to see favourites from the Disney film, plus 19 cartoon, movie and TV greats. But many were nowhere to be seen. And at the Frozen sing-along, Elsa and an oversized Olaf walked off when the music went wrong. Now, we saw a picture of Elsa in one of the papers. She's a big lass. I think she'd eaten at least 3 Elsas. Then there's a woman in the worst Wonder Woman costume, and she's called... They've done very funny captions.
Wonder Woman.
Refunder Woman.
Oh!
Dr. Who? And then there's a bloke that looks like James Whale as Indiana Jones.
Oh.
Guess what they've come up with for him? This is brilliant. This is old boy as Indiana Jones. 1 for Indy Grave. Indy Grave.
Okay, right.
Flipping heck. For beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M25, there is queues anti-clockwise approaching junction 25 for Enfield from junction 24 for Potters Bar because of an accident between a lorry and a car. It's also slow on the M25 anti-clockwise between junction 18 for the A404 at Chorleywood and 15 for the M4. In Uxbridge on the A40 into London, that's slow at the Sweetcleys roundabout towards Gypsy Corner. And in Beaconsfield on the A355 southbound, that's busy at the junction for the M40 junction 2. On the trains, Chiltern Railway are still being affected by hour-long delays and cancellations between Banbury and Marylebone because of a signalling problem, and also Great Northern have delays between Hitchin and Letchworth Garden City because of a signalling problem, so they might be cancelled at short notice as well. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hey, we're nearly done. 8:46. It's Wednesday, the 27th of May. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A woman from Hertfordshire says she's appalled after finding a mausoleum built over her great-grandparents' grave. Broxbourne Borough Council say as it's a common grave, she's got no right to it. And 6 people have been arrested in Switzerland in connection with alleged corruption at Football World's governing body FIFA. Oh, and isn't it interesting that one of the people arrested was going to be running against Sepp Blatter for president of FIFA? I mean, conspiracy theory, guys? Cover up? What cover up? Maybe you better cover up. Let's find out what the weather's going to be like.
Beds, Hearts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thanks very much indeed. Beautiful, beautiful day there across the 3 counties. Lots of sunshine at the moment. The temperatures are leaping up in response to that sunshine. We're in double figures now, really, for most of us. And the only way is up, really. Looking like a very nice day for us. Certainly the first half will keep quite a lot of sunshine. From mid-afternoon onwards, we've got more cloud moving towards us from the west. But before that, a high of 17, maybe 18 Celsius. And then thick cloud moving in through this evening. Potentially a little bit of light and patchy rain or drizzle through the evening and the early hours of tomorrow morning. The wind really increasing as well. Temperatures staying in double figures. Tomorrow we'll start with a little bit of cloud. It clears up quite nicely and then it's bright with sunny spells and a high of 15, perhaps 16 degrees. Friday we've got some heavy rain through the day and some really sharp showers in the afternoon with some hail and thunder mixed in. Saturday is dry and bright though, although it's still fairly breezy. And Sunday we've got a lot of rain for the middle part of the day and it will feel quite cold with a high of just 13 Celsius.
Thank you, Sarah!
If you've missed any of the programmes here on BBC Three Counties Radio, you've missed things like this.
Did the drugs in his mouth kill him?
No, they didn't.
Okay. Did they play a part in his death?
He
had 4 glasses of champagne, 2 bottles of wine, 4 cocktails. What's 2 French?
I have a feeling it was a cocktail as well.
But there is a way you can hear it all again.
And Renata Blower, you have just allowed the first ever nurse to be funded for Great Ormond Street, who will deal specifically with children who have undiagnosed conditions.
bbc.co.uk/Three Counties Radio.
Well, the Police and Crime Commissioner for Bedfordshire, Ollie Martins, joins me in the studio. Were you wrong to go ahead with this referendum?
But what was the alternative? As I've said, that was not a situation that I was prepared to just sit there and do nothing about.
Allowing you to listen to what you missed. bbc.co.uk/Three Counties Radio.
Fried potatoes.
You missed all of this, Kelly. This is you take time off work. This is what happens. Standards rise.
Lower. Ooh.
Good.
Coleslaw, potato salad. She said, no. I went, oh. Grapes, orange segments.
All of that stuff actually went out on the radio. A, just then, and B, on Monday, Tuesday. Don't take time off again. Akbar's on the line. Good morning, Akbar.
Good morning, Ian.
How's it going, fella? What you got for us?
I'm fine, Ian. Ian, these signs, they do say lots of things about the organisation they are coming from. And if one happens to walk into Luton Police Station, their Bedfordshire Police sign is plastered all over their in their reception on the floor. Now, I thought that was very disrespectful, both for the police force to put its insignia, which is part of their uniform and part of their cap, on the floor for people and everybody else to trample over.
But so what is it? Hang on, I have not had cause to go into Bedfordshire Police Station. Luton Police Station. They've never caught me. They've never caught me, Akbar. I'm too fast. I know all the back roads. They'll never catch me. So what does it say on the floor of Luton Police Station? You're next.
No, it doesn't say that. This insignia greets you while lying on the floor. It's all over the floor, and which is I, to the best of my understanding, what I can understand, is the police, Bedfordshire Police insignia.
That's interesting you mention that. I don't know if that is disrespectful, because it is quite common, isn't it, to have things like that on the floor.
But that's quite common, Ian.
Yes,
but at the same time, no.
Yes?
This insignia is part of their uniform and part of.
What would you like to see on the floor of Luton Police Station, apart from a copper?
Nothing. This insignia on the floor did hurt me.
Okay.
Hurt me, and I intend raising it with the.
Oh, come on! They're skint. They've got no money. We always hear about how they've got no money. They can't spend any money on painting over the sign on the floor.
Exactly.
Aren't there bigger? Aren't there bigger things that you should be worried about the police than, you know, the sign they've got on the floor?
I deeply care about my police, and I attach lots of respect and care to them. And it is very hurtful that they have not thought about it.
Okay, Akbar, listen, thank you very much. Let's just see what our experts think about that.
Did you just cut the cheese?
Hey, that's unfair. Akbar, thank you.
I'd never thought of it that way before.
No, I think that's maybe a little bit. I think the thing about the sign in Luton, the Welcome to Luton sign, is it's the first thing you see. It's literally welcoming you to Luton. It looks awful. It looks cheap. It looks nasty. Probably cost a few quid. The M is wonky. It looks rubbish. Sign on the floor. I mean, really.
Dave on the text says about the Welcome to Luton sign. He's also a fan of the average speed cameras next to it. A real Luton welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, it's 50 miles an hour, so that's plenty. That's plenty fast coming off the motorway, isn't it? 08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Any texts?
We were talking about Danish earlier on.
Yeah.
Danish?
Yeah, you were talking about it earlier on, yeah.
Steve says...
people from Denmark, yeah?
No, in this case, no.
Oh.
Steve says, I like a cinnamon swirl. Thanks, Steve. I'm glad.
John Paul Gillies had a who was at Margam Country Park near Port Talbot, South Wales, on Bank Holiday Monday with kids Annabelle 6 and William... Just get to the point of the sentence! Said, it was the worst trip ever. This is the Frozen day. We only saw 3 characters, Elsa, Anna and Wonder Woman, who was an absolute state. And there is Wonder Woman. She's hula hooping with her arms.
I don't remember that episode.
Refunder Woman. Outraged Katie O'Donoghue added, we basically went there and paid 19 quid to glimpse a shoddy Olaf walking around. Parents also complained of 45-minute queues for loos and food and drink stalls with major traffic congestion outside. Dozens want refunds. But Neath Port Talbot Council, which runs the park, apologised and said problems stemmed from the unprecedented 13,000 visitors. The thing with this stuff, right, is you can't mess around with it, right? You've either got to do it properly or not do it at all, because it's, it's one thing, you and I went for a rubbish day out, we'd be angry and we'd write a letter. But when you've got 5, 6, 7-year-old kids with you, that hopefully they've yet to be tainted by the world of disappointment, and you're promising them magic, and kids can sniff out that rubbish a mile off.
They also know Frozen back to front. They want to see the real princess, don't they?
And yet, do you know what? Here's the thing. They buy into those giant costumes. They buy into the full-face costumes because they go to Disneyland. And my boys had their autograph book out from Disneyland last night, and they were looking at the autographs. And then we got some of the pictures out. It was fantastic from Euro Disney. Sorry. And there's a picture of them with, and it's them in the full suit, and they buy into that. That's the real Mickey Mouse. That's the real Snow White, beautiful woman. That's the real Snow White. That's the real whoever I can't remember the other one was. But you can't get, with the greatest of respect, a fat girl playing Anna. No disrespect, but you can't. And you can't get this, this Olaf costume looks like it's from Pound Stretcher. You can't mess around with kids.
They got away with that because Disney really quite,
I bet they haven't. I bet if Disney knew...
livid.
Yeah, I bet if Disney knew what was going on, they'd have none of this. One for Indy Grave. Why don't you get that?
Well, I didn't. I thought you were doing a voice, but then I realised that was the joke.
No, one for Indy Grave. They call him Indy in the film. Short for Indiana.
So short for what?
Andy's on the line. Good morning, Andy.
Morning, Iain.
What you got for us,
morning,
mate?
Catherine.
Hiya.
Hey, listen, you're talking to the organ grinder. Forget the monkeys, all right?
Okay. I just wanted to mention, make a point about the flag thing. Akbar just rang in about the flag on the ground. So, in certain Asian countries, certainly in Thailand, it's an offence to stand on money. It's got a picture of the king on the note. It's an offence to sort of stand on the flag. You can actually get put in prison. So I think Akbar's coming from a sort of cultural perspective. Where
you know what, Andy? Yeah, you're right. It often in foreign countries, particularly Pakistan, actually, to show their disgust, they'll burn a flag. And it's a real, they might as well be urinating on a picture of your mum. It's a really offensive thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah, and the foot thing's quite important as well. I think in a lot of Asian countries, culturally, there's a lot of sort of people walking around barefoot, feet are less clean, and therefore putting your feet on the flag or on a banknote or any picture of a king or anything like that is definitely it's a criminal offence. So,
all right, Andy, nice one. Go on, listen, the line's not great, so I'm going to let you go. Thank you for that. There was a great... At the end of World War II, right, or maybe it was during World War II, when we were kind of best buddies with the Americans, OK, as a sign of thanks, to thank them for all the work and the help they'd done during World War II, an enterprising British company made underpants out of the Stars and Stripes, thinking this is a cheeky bit of fun. It's kind of a cheeky British way of saying thank you for... Of course, it's one of the worst things you can do. To the American flag, they salute it every morning. They raise the flag in classrooms and salute it. And the Americans were... They're like, hang on a minute, we've just helped you kick the Nazis' butts, and you're now taking the mickey out of it. And they had to apologise. Oh, it was awful.
You don't mess. They're not allowed to touch the ground, are they, Stars and Stripes?
Well, Americans, I think they can. I've seen an American... I've never seen an American touching the ground. You're right.
If you're American and you can touch the ground...
Call Jonathan. Oh, no, don't call Jonathan. He's on strike.
He is, isn't that?
He's on strike.
I never thought it would be him, did you?
For the next 3 hours, I'm sure it'll be sorted out by the time Nick comes on at midday. It's going to be bird song and tumbleweed, or if they let him on air, it'll be him spouting his left-wing nonsense.
Although, if anyone can sort it, he can. Maybe he'll be on at 9.
He might sort it out in the next minute and a half. You never know.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M25, there are long delays clockwise approaching junction 25 for Enfield because of an accident between a lorry and a car. Also, it's looking really slow in the opposite direction and anti-clockwise as well. It's busy from junction 18 for Chorleywood to 15 for the M4. On the M1, it's slow southbound from junction 12 for Splittix to junction 11 for Dunstable. And in Beaconsfield on the A355 southbound, it's slow at the M40 junction 2. On the trains, there's still delays on Chiltern Railway between Banbury and Marylebone with an hour. That's because of a signalling problem and some cancellations too. Also, Great Northern have delays between Hitchin and Letchworth Garden City because of a signalling problem. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, thank you. Al has corrected me on Twitter. I do appreciate it. I was talking about someone who put a T in front of the sign, the Watford sign, and I implied it was rude. He said it's just Northern. It's Watford, isn't it? That's what it is. It's at Watford. Go on to Watford. Thank you, Al. Kelly, great to have you back. Catherine, we'll have words. Dealey, thank you. Back tomorrow at 6. JVS is up next. Ta-ta.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Ian. Good morning. Welcome to the JVS show. I'm Jonathan Vernon-Smith. It's Wednesday. It's 9 o'clock, and on today's big phone-in, are you pleased the government will spend more money on free childcare? Parliament opens today, and with their Queen's speech, the Conservatives are expected to promise an increase in the amount of free childcare available to parents. Currently, parents with 3 and 4-year-olds get 15 hours free per week, but we expect that to be increased to 30 hours from next year. Well, this morning I want to hear your reaction. I mean, of course, it's going to be taxpayers that will pay for this. So are you pleased the government will spend more money on free childcare? Is it a good use of money? Pick up the phone, come on and have your say. Here's my telephone number. It's 08459 455 555.
This is the JVS show
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
I'll take your call in just a second, but first, let's get the latest BBC News. At 9 o'clock, here's Barry Caffrey.
Good morning. The Queen will present the Conservatives' programme for government for the next year when she opens Parliament later today. Included in the plans are more powers for Scotland and a bill paving the way for a referendum on leaving the EU. But proposals to scrap the Human Rights Act and replace it with a British Bill of Rights have been dropped. The former SNP leader, Alex Salmond, newly elected to Parliament, said he didn't think the Tories were confident of getting it through the Commons.
The early signs are it hasn't taken long for this government to be blown off course in the Human Rights Act, as we see this morning. And it just indicates a majority of 12 in parliamentary terms is actually very little. And I suspect there's going to be a range of key votes where the government comes under real pressure and will find themselves in headlong retreat, as they are in the Human Rights Act this morning.
Several senior officials from football's world governing body FIFA have been arrested at a hotel in Switzerland in a dawn raid by Swiss police. They're understood to be facing corruption charges as part of an American investigation. FIFA's president, Sepp Blatter, is not believed to be among them. Alex Capstick reports from Zurich.